This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Welcome. Oh my gosh, welcome to the X&C Podcast, episode 238. I look over, and instead of Mag, I have
That's right.
on death's door for Xbox's death. What, Grim Reaper, what do you have to say? You've been very busy.
It is the Xbox Grim Reaper to tell everyone that the Xbox is dead.
Now,
Finally, it's dead. I have been hunting you for years.
Who
Phil
do you
Spencer,
work
you
for?
can run no longer. The Xbox Reaper is here. Go ahead and clip me, Astro. I am waiting for you.
Grim Reaper, you kind of sound like the ghost of Christmas Past from Disney. Is that like... I'm supposed to be scared.
Well, no one's supposed to be scared.
Yeah.
But it is
Welcome, Grim Reaper, a.k.a. Mag.
Yes.
How are you? How's it been?
I am doing great. It's great to be here tonight. It's wonderful to do the show. Yeah, we got some things to talk about, and there was all kinds of news over the last week, so it was pretty exciting stuff. But either way, we're here, we're talking, we're ready to rock. We got some things going on. Chad is already on fire. Let's get into it, man. Let's do this.
Hold on. Oh, I just blasted your camera. Hold on.
You blasted my camera.
Here, now it's coming back. It's coming back. Hold on. There it is. I was like,
coming
I don't
for
have
your
the show
channel
open.
next, Colteastwood.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't have the show open, and then I had the whole thing like covering the camera, and I'm like, well, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You said, how am I? I'm pretty good. It's been
Yes.
kind of a crazy week, and we're gonna break down a bunch of the news, but I've been just kind of tooling around on some older games because right now there's nothing new for about a week and a half. There's High on Life 2's coming out in about, I don't know, 10 days or something. And I'm kind of getting excited about playing that. Did you mess around with the first one?
I loved it. Yeah, the first one was fun. My wife actually finished it too. She really enjoyed it. So it was pretty good, man. I really enjoyed the game, and the second one looks like it's going to be even more fun. So we'll see how it ends up. But I mean, come on, man. You know what I'm going to say, right? You know what month February is. Never mind Valentine's Day. Never mind any of that stuff. We all know what's coming in February, and it's Resident Evil is the only thing. It's like, I only have eyes for you. You know that song? You know the song? You know the song.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, when I see that tile, I just sing it away. It's like, 'cause I only have eyes. Yeah, I'm just looking at and singing to Leon every night before I go to bed. And I'm ready for it. But High on Life 2, listen, man, if this thing lands, it's going to be one of those games that I'll probably pick up in the spring or like maybe in the summertime at like a discount and then just play the hell out of it because, like I said, we love the first one. So it was really good time. Played it on Game Pass, funny enough.
Yeah, it was one of those like, oh, it looks really cool. Hope it's good. And then I really end up enjoying it so much that I sat for like 2 hours in the courtyard and watched the TV shows and commercials.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because they had the TVs there. You could watch they were weird, man.
Yeah, like sock puppets and inappropriate commercials.
Really weird.
Yeah,
it was very strange, but a very cool game. And then there was that guy, what's his name? Stabby, Knifey, whatever is it?
Yeah, Stabby.
The knife, remember the knife?
Yeah.
Was it Stabby?
I think it was something like that, yeah. This new one, you can ride on a skateboard in first person, which is something you don't often get to do in video games, right?
Right.
Are you still?
Yeah.
Are you still holding the Reaper so that you can make sure if you need to strike anyone down?
No, just letting everybody know. I mean, that was the thumbnail today, right? Xbox is dead again. So I have the scythe ready. I'm all set. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's how we're going. I'm coming for you, Rake. I see you. He goes, why the F are you holding a scythe? That's why.
Was there somebody named Rake?
I've already taken down many people.
I was going to say, is there somebody named Rake in the chat, or are you just talking about...
Yeah. No, this guy named Rake. He actually said, he goes, why the F are you holding a scythe?
Like, Rake always follows Xbox. Xbox does something good, Rake shows up, Xbox steps on Rake, and we enjoy the
Oh,
festivities.
there's that rake.
Yes,
absolutely. Well, there's that rake too. Yes, in that case, Microsoft owns an entire closet of those things. Yeah,
yeah.
They're like, bring out the rakes,
and then
we must step on them.
They line them up. Bring out the rakes. Gong. Yeah.
Yeah.
In perfectly
We had a good
timed
showcase.
fashion.
Time to start layoffs. And then they go to Satya's office, and he's sitting here like this with the scythe, going, "Mr. Spencer, execute order 66." And that's it. And then it starts happening. Yeah.
I have
music kicks in.
that some people call unnatural.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's so funny. You go back to watch Revenge of the Sith,
Nintendo.
And it's better than it used to be, really. Now that I watch it,
well, compared to what we've been getting, yeah. Like, and then you go back and say, all of a sudden, people start looking at the prequel series with rose-colored glasses, right?
Yep.
That's what ends up happening. Ah, Nintendo, you survived. Surprised, are you? Your arrogance blinds you, Nintendo Switch 2. Do it. Sorry, I know every line from the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy, obviously.
Did you guys see the standing ovation that Hayden Christensen got, like when he did that appearance?
Man, he really,
he was so underappreciated.
I mean, I'm glad that he's getting love now. He's getting love now. But I mean, listen, he wasn't great. Okay, let's face it. He wasn't exactly great. He was pretty wooden, but a lot of that has to do with the director, because the director can come in there and say, guys, more energy, quicker pace to the script. You know what I mean? Read the line. Let's go. Like get some pacing in there, because even Jar Jar Abrams, as much as whatever, the thing is, at least with episode 7, he was finding that the pace was sagging when they were filming the film, right? And he said to his guys, pace. We got to move this and get, you know what I mean? Because it's sagging. Yeah. And it felt like it was like kind of crumbling under its own weight, which is exactly what happened with episode 1 and 2. It was crumbling under its own weight of all the pressure and the anticipation and of course the expectations. And so, but it continued to sink. Episode 3 kind of let loose a little bit, but at least Jar Jar got that understood. Yeah. So, and then then we all know what happened after that.
Yeah, I mean, even Ewan McGregor has some kind of really crappy acting moments, and it must be from direction, because he's an unbelievably great actor.
He's a great. I love Ewan McGregor. He's so.
Have you seen The Island?
There.
Hello there.
Yeah, dude, I've watched. Hello there. I have watched pretty much every Ewan McGregor movie. I think he's a fantastic actor.
I need to watch Big Fish. I saw something about it, and it was one of those I never got around to watching.
Man.
I need to watch it.
That's a great movie. What's that?
Would it hold up if I watched it? It's like 25
Oh, absolutely.
years old.
Yeah. It's a Tim Burton movie, man. Like Tim Burton movies, they all hold up. Like, I mean, from 84, 85 and on, like, it doesn't matter. You can watch a Tim Burton movie today. It looks like it came out today. So it's just got that vibe to it. Big Fish is a great movie. And then, of course, he did Moulin Rouge while he was filming episode 1. So they had the two sets.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, not
right.
while, but like he jumped from one film to the other. And he was preparing for the other role while he was doing the Obi-Wan stuff. And then as soon as that was done, or I think he did it before. I can't remember the order.
They're really
exactly,
close. They were, I think Moulin Rouge and Big Fish were just before. And then a year later or so was Revenge of the Sith. And I'm a big fan of Moulin Rouge. It's a movie I didn't think I would like.
Great movie.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. You and I are like Broadway music stars, right? We wish we were.
It was a great movie.
Yeah,
it was a great movie. I mean, it's a sort of modern / not so modern take on the Italian opera La Boheme, which was from 1884, 1885, something like that. I can't remember what year it came out, but either way, it was from La Boheme, which is from Giacomo Puccini. It's an Italian opera, and then of course that's what Miss Saigon was based on. Miss Saigon was a derivative of. Like a Vietnam derivative of La Boheme, and then Moulin Rouge was the exact same thing. It was another derivative of that original opera La Boheme. So it all just kind of boiled down from one and then moved its way across. So yeah. But very cool. Like the story lasts forever. Like, that's what fairy tales and legends and myths are all about. You don't change them. You change the circumstances, but you don't change the message.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet thing, but then it catches me because it's got 70s and 80s music that's been adapted to that era, but
yes,
it wouldn't be X and C, as we talk about gaming newscast, if we weren't talking about music and movies and opera, which is what you and I do from time to time. one day we're talking about gangster rap, the next day we're talking about, tube socks. But that's what we do on the show.
Tube socks are fantastic. Cole. Come on. Before we get started, we got to say a happy birthday to our friend Toby in the chat here tonight. He is 34 years old today. We got to say hi. And he's 108 days clean and sober. Good for you, buddy.
Nice.
I am shaking the scythe just for you, my friend. Yes, the Xbox dead scythe is shaking just for you. But anyways, either happy birthday and glad to see you clean and sober. It's not easy to do, man. It's not easy to do, and congratulations on all that.
Yeah, congrats to you. And also a big congrats to, we're sponsored by 4XP, which does energy drink. And I'm going to mix up a little bit here while Mag and I talk about it in a second. But the two founders are having a milestone birthday, and they messaged me today. And they're not even close to as old as we are, but they were like, they're celebrating their birthdays, and they're kicking off 2026 with a great year. And we wanted to give a big shout out to 4XP, the energy drink. And Meg, they have their, you talked about their promo. I don't know if you've talked about what they're doing, but I was going to mix up a little bit of blue raspberry, my favorite, which is, guess what it's called?
Hold on. Could it be this?
Oh, never mind. No, I'm not picking up. Yes, I'm not doing blue raspberry. I'm doing white gummy, which is called, say it.
Grave Digger. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm still wearing the Grave Walker. Excuse me. It doesn't matter, but you have to dig before you can walk on the grave anyway. Grave Walker, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Here we go. We've got the Grim Reaper here promoting Grave Walker. And if you want fantastic energy drinks, you want the best of the best, you want the best for 2026. Listen, there are so many AAA games that there is absolutely no chance you could finish them all in 1 year. However, there is one way you could finish them all in 1 year, and that is by picking up 4XP Energy, and it will give you the energy to finish the 196,000 AAA games coming out in 2026, ladies and gentlemen. You want to finish Fable in 3 days before GTA 6 drops? There's only one way you could do it. 4xpgaming.com. Go check them out. Go check the website. And in fact, shake it up, buddy. Now turn around and shake it from, never mind. Yeah, now walk like the guy from Fable while you shake it. That's what I'm talking about. Grave Walker. We've got, that's what I'm talking about. There you go. Shake it up, buddy. Shake it up. I actually got a DM about 3 days ago from a community member saying, I love those 4XP guys. They got all my stuff together. They got my order together. They even sent me a personal message. And when they had actually asked for something extra, they sent it to them within days. That is how good 4XP Gaming is. They are on top of it. They are all over it. And they are very personal. This is not a mindless corporation. This is two incredible gents doing incredible work. And they will continue to do so. And the only way that they can continue to do so is through the support of this community, 4xpgaming.com. It's in the chat right now. Happy Bomb, thank you very much for putting that in there. And that's what I'm talking about. Let's get into that and get into it. Colt, take a sip and let the folks know what it tastes like. There you go. By the way, Grave Digger is a there you go. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something. The 4XP Gaming's the cream of the crop. Yeah. Gravedigger is actually a monster truck, just so you know. Yeah. I got it mixed up.
We get our lore from time to time, but
I got the lore mixed up. It's a monster truck that they used to do the things like Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. And it's like Gravedigger.
So go to the website. Go to the website and get a shaker. Comes with a little spring ball on the bottom so it shakes up nice. Get a shaker, get yourself a variety pack, which gives you all three flavors. Blue raspberry, watermelon, and white gummy.
Yep.
And
watermelon is actually quite good, by the way.
Yeah, show your support. Let's get into the gaming news. I was watching a podcast the other day, Mag.
Sorry, this hoodie's getting way too hot. It's a nice hoodie, by the way. Look.
It is nice.
It's an Xbox hoodie. Check it out. So it's an Xbox hoodie. And
even has a tombstone on the side of it, too.
Actually, the back is really cool. Check this out. I don't know if you can see this.
Wait, do the walk while you show it. Oh, it's a Series X. Now do the Fable walk. Yeah.
So it's a Series X hoodie. Phil Spencer showed up at my house and handed it to me personally.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was watching a podcast.
Was like, Mag, the Xbox hoodie is right here. Box is in the name, and here we are. So he did that. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to go out of order here. I see Roberto in the chat. He's a Brazilian YouTuber, covers Xbox. Awesome channel, 37,000 subscribers. He took my Magnus video and he took the whole thing and dubbed over it in his voice in Brazilian Portuguese so that people could know what's going on in the news. And I'm like, well, and I messaged him, I'm like, you can't just use all of my production. And some people kind of went after him. I'm like, I didn't want that to happen, but I spent like 6 hours putting this production together for the Magnus video, and he used all the footage. And I would be cool with that if he just kind of was on camera and cut and showed a few clips, but it was the entire video. But he's a cool guy, and I hate to see people dogpile on other people, especially other creators that are talented and really great like him. He's on camera on mic and everything. So high quality stuff. And I know he does really high quality stuff, but he says, hey, Colt, I want to apologize for the problem with my channel. I genuinely didn't understand some things. My sincerest apology. Bro, much respect to you. You're awesome. I hate that people are dogpiling on you. And I called out a couple of people, say, come on, just relax. But appreciate your work. And it's really gotten me to think about, Meg and I try to think more national or international, right? And, I was looking into, like, a lot of my videos say I can't automatically dub them into other languages. So I'm looking into some things to make that happen down the road so that if I'm creating stuff that people who don't, speak English can get a hold of the news. We appreciate everybody's around here watching the show. We have a lot of people from Australia and England who are, English speakers, so to speak. So I know we have a lot of people from different...
sort of. Have you heard Brisket talk?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not English. That's not English at all.
Yeah, Paris in the chat says, I want to talk about Xbox broken dying, which let me grab a couple supers here. Today we're going to talk about the Xbox financials, the Xbox future plans, what it means for Xbox when stocks are down and the financials. And Mag's got a really ton of cool insight. He's going to take over on that part of the segment. And then we've got some other gaming news to talk about. Before we do that, we got Face 23 booked in New York. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. He goes, question, if Microsoft was to stop making consoles, would you still cover Xbox, Colt? Yes, absolutely. When basically in mid 2024, when you and I were doing the show and the writing was on the wall that Xbox is going to put all their games on PlayStation and they stopped producing serious consoles, I had to think, what am I really here for? I love talking tech and hardware, but what I've been doing the past year and a half is talking about games, and it's been great, and people have been really excited. So when we talk about Xbox being dead, it couldn't be further from the truth because Xbox is bigger and bigger. Now, we're going to get into the subject about how Xbox Series console is dead, like deader than Xbox One, and what the future means. So there would be more hardware related to Xbox in the future. We'll get into that later on in the show. Also, we got this one says at Colteastwood. Somebody made an account. Somebody made an account. Colteastwood. I haven't seen it.
He comes to my chat all the time.
He says, "Thank you too."
Yeah.
He says, "Hey everyone, hope all's well. Fallout never dies." Sorry, Meg. Go ahead.
Fallout never dies. No. Colteastwood comes to my channel all the time. Yeah. Although he wasn't there last week. I'm a little disappointed, but he's usually there, and he usually drops a little super chat and says hello, so it's always appreciated. And of course, I think he just does it because he wants me to say the name out loud.
Well, I love it. It's funny. I think one of my friends from high school used the Colteastwood thing when we first got the nickname going. That blue number, thanks to the 5 so much. Thank you. Says Honey Bunny Hunky McSexious Leon Mag. You forgot the first part. Yeah, she's
what?
I was when you were talking about Leon, I was gonna say the girls are like really perking up. Is that a word I can use? About
what do they call it? Like a thirst trap or something? I don't know.
Yeah, who even knows?
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, they're excited about Leon. Yeah, but
I'm excited about Leon.
Yeah,
and I'm a man. And I'm still excited about Leon.
What makes him sexy for you, Mag?
I like his silky hair. I've always been a fan of his hair. So like when he's like walking through and his hair just kind of, moves
really
just a little bit.
Does it?
He's got a very surfer, like a very California surfer kind of look about him. I've always been a big fan. But now that he's a little bit older and grizzled, I think that's actually even better. That's even better because that's a better look because now he's got years behind him. You know what I mean? Like
he's
seen some things, man, and he's seen some stuff. You know what I mean? So like he's been through it. So he's gonna be a little bit scarred up now, maybe a little scruffy around the face. You know, and like that's a better look, man. I think young is just totally overrated. I think there's like that nice middle-aged halfway point of life, so to speak, which is like the perfect man. Young man is too young. You look like a boy. You're not there yet. You got to get some mileage in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, when you look at him in like the original Star Wars, he looks like a child. I mean, even though he's not, actually, he's pretty old even then. But then when he started doing like Indy Jones, like by the time he got to like Temple of Doom and Last Crusade, when he started getting into his like late 40s, almost early 50s, that's the chef's kiss. And that's where Leon is right now, because if I do my math, someone in the chat is obviously going to correct me, but I think he's 54. He's between 51 and 54 really? In this game. If you follow the timeline, someone in the chat will know exactly what it is. I did it in the video, but that's because I had literally written it down and I read it and I was like, yeah, he's 50 whatever. So he's either 51 or 54 in this game. Right? Okay. So we have to anyway, there is a timeline. So
Yeah. Face 23 with the 2. Thank you. He adds, Xbox is dead. People mean the console, not the brand. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about that. I appreciate you. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat, thanks for the Australian 5. Says, Colt, you'll be able to get even with the intervention for Mag when Resident Evil Requiem comes out.
Yeah, forget it. I don't care. You could do that all day long. You want to do interventions? Not going to work. It's not going to work. I'll knock everybody out in the room. Grandma, everybody. I'll knock everybody out. Yeah, you come in my house and be like, oh, you want me to stop playing Resident Evil? I'll show you Resident Evil. And then just start like laying waste and then going back down and playing Resident Evil again. And then I'm going to buy it for the Switch too, and I'm going to play it again.
What's your Metacritic prediction for Requiem?
That's tough. The game looks hot.
Like what was Village 80. And... If you remember,
I'd say 88. 88. I'm saying an 88 on this one because they all look great. But for some reason, all right, 86. Fuzzy Belvedere is pretty close. He's saying 86. Last Razor Eater. Great name. 89.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know how to say that name, but it's a very cool name. It's like Shadile Onine. That's how I'm going to say it. He or she is saying 9.
I may have, hold on.
67? Where are you guys going with that? Get out of it. Moderators, get these guys out of the chat. 67. Rip, you should behave yourself there. I see you, Kersion, in there. I see you in there. 67. Nonsense.
I may have 4XP'd my that's a real adjective or verb. I may have 4XP'd my keyboard. Some of the powders didn't make the. Yeah, my wife was like, when you do that on camera, you're gonna mess it up. I'm like, no, I'm not. And then it was like, whoops. And it looked like, take it to the limit in here because there's white gummy all over and I'm like,
oh, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Your keyboard is going to type 3 times faster now because now it's got 4XP all over your keyboard. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not typing fast enough, if you can't get those emails to the boss by the deadline, you got to pour 4XP all over your keyboard, okay? Preferably white gummy. Pour it all over your keyboard, and you watch how fast you'll be able to type after that. Okay,
my shift button's not working. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, crud.
Well, there we go.
Okay.
Let me see. I think I may have got it fixed.
Jesse James. I'm not reading what he said out loud.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be impossible to type. What? All right. Well, before we get into the news, let's talk briefly. No, let's not. Highguard ain't making it. I'm sorry. Highguard ain't making it. I don't even know if it's even a thing. Do you guys even care to say anything? It's like, it's at like 6,000 to 8,000. What do you have to say, Mag?
Oof. Well, they tried over the weekend. I'll give them that. And so like, at least they're listening to the players that are actually playing the game. And so they did listen to them and they added a 5v5 mode in the game. And they're trying that. Like, they're basically at this point, they're trying to, okay, you could call it desperation, you call it whatever you want, but at least they're listening to the players that are actually playing. And they're like, okay, well, let's try this, let's try that. And they're trying to salvage whatever they can from the game. But it doesn't look like, and like I said, I said it last week on this very show. I also said it on my show the next night that 2026 you cannot miss a beat. You cannot skip a step. You cannot stumble while you're doing the 100-meter dash. You cannot hit one of those hurdles when you're doing the Olympic runs. You can't do any of that stuff. You've got to hit everything perfectly, because this year is so stacked with competition that if you mess up even just a little bit, and it sucks, but if you mess up a little bit, everybody's going to go, well, I'll wait for a sale. And then they go off to the next AAA game that's literally waiting at their door. You know what I'm saying? So It's out of control. Like for Canadians, like think about this. Any Canadians in the chat out there, you know what it's like with Tim Hortons? Like every 25 feet, there's a Tim Hortons. I know for you guys, it used to be, it's what's it called? Starbucks. We have Starbucks too, but I'm just saying, like, it's just like every 25 feet is a Tim Hortons, okay? And so like you trip over one, you trip on one, you land on another one. And that's exactly like the perfect analogy for what's happening in 26 with AAA gaming. And as a result of that, you kind of came out the gate weak or whatever else, and it didn't really work out. It sucks. Well, everybody's already looking forward to the next thing. And the next things are what? We've got High on Life 2. We got Resident Evil Requiem.
Marathon.
And those are for this month. Marathon. Oh, is Marathon this month? I thought it was March.
Oh, no, I mean, it's right around the corner. Yeah, sure.
There's a lot of fans of Neo, that series Neo. I could never get into it. I tried. It's not really my thing, but Neo 3 is out in a few days, if I'm not mistaken. And so that's just this month. Never mind March, where you got Crimson Desert. And listen, I'm not going to go through the whole year. We already know what's coming, but you had your window, and unfortunately, in a year that's so packed with competition, you lost the window. So it sucks. Anyway, that's all I have to say about it.
Did you play it again after you and I did the stream?
Yes, I did. I played like 2 more matches just to see. Not the same day. I did it like a couple days later. It's still on my hard drive. I still got it there. And I'm like, let me just try it out. And I'm like, okay, like it didn't really change anything. I did not do the 5v5 thing.
Me
I
either.
just did the standard 3 versus 3 raid or whatever. And listen, the guns work great and all that stuff. The actual movement of the game, I mean, like the actual like gameplay itself is very sound. They obviously know how to make a shooter, like a first-person shooter. You could tell the guns are incredibly reactive. The hit detection is very good. It's just the loop is just not like, it's just not enough. You know what I mean? Like you go build your base, and then you're standing around waiting for the sword to drop. And like as soon as the sword drops, then everybody rushes in. But then I'm sure there's nuanced gameplay as you play more. Like there's like you discover more things. You know what I mean? But I just didn't. It just didn't connect with me. So
it's kind of like people are being a little more forgiving of it because it's lost like 90% of its player base, but it's gone from an 18% to nearly a 50% out of 100 from user reviews on Steam.
Yeah.
So people are like, okay, they're kind of a little more forgiving, and then. If you look, by the time it gets up to 60%, I think everyone will be done playing it. Like it may be, 2 or 3 more weeks, and then everyone will be like, well, yeah. And I've let people play it. When people say, I've had friends say, oh, I'm enjoying the 5v5, or I've said you might have some potential, and I'm fine with them saying that. But I'm going to play something different.
You know what they could have done too, just to like, I don't know, open it up a little bit even further. Maybe they'll probably try this down the road. Something like just like go all Call of Duty. Go kill confirmed. Go team deathmatch. Like just
how long
turn
would
it
it take
into
to
an
do that?
online shooter and just what else are you gonna do, dude? And just add like 6 more maps or something. Like what the hell else are you gonna do? You can't just let it's going to, unfortunately, but you can't just like give up and just say, well, that's it. That's 5 years of our life or 6 years of our life. Let's just move on to the next thing. You know what I mean? Like maybe just give it another crack at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think about how Concord had to like just close up shop in 10 days because you can do all those things. Like what if we made this mode, this mode, this mode, but by the time you get those done and deliver them, everybody already left the building. It really sucks. And I don't want to see that happen in Marathon.
Nobody wants to see it fail, dude.
No
one wants to see it fail. I don't want to see games fail. I don't want to see people like think about this. Like I know people are very quick to whatever, and either defend or attack, especially developers in the gaming industry, whatever. But you know what? It shouldn't be unexpected either, considering like what every other job in the world is the same thing. Like if you come into a restaurant and you're paying for a $60 steak and it's not and it's not good, you're probably going to say something about it, right? So why is it any different from them? However, it does suck if you worked on something for 6 years, let's say, and it just doesn't work out. You know what I mean? That's tough. That must be hard to take. Maverick, I see what you're saying here. And he goes, that's been every year since 2023. Not even close. Not even close. 2026 It is not even close. The amount of huge games coming out this year is more than monumental. There are years where like, oh, this is the year.
I'll back him up. 2024 was pretty good, but 2025 was insane, and then 2026 is also insane. So, yeah, partially.
I just don't feel like it's as insane as this.
No, not 24 wasn't, no.
No, even 25. Like, I mean, a lot of games came in 25, as they always do. Yeah. But I just don't feel that they all hit the mark. Now, I'm preemptively thinking all these games are going to hit the mark. But a lot of games came out just like every other year, but not a lot of them did not hit the mark.
We're going to talk about how Xbox had like 6 of those 2025 games that did not hit the mark when we get into the financials. Paris in the chat, I said, I was mix up the words. Paris in the chat says, if I'm Bungie launching Marathon this year, has to be terrifying. Yeah,
because there's going to be a lot of scrutiny coming off of a bad game. But you know what? It actually would have been tough for Marathon anyway for 2 reasons. Let's say Highguard did hit. Let's say it did land, that it was hugely popular.
That would be tough too.
Then there'd be a different pressure on them. The different pressure would be, well, that game is awesome. Let's see what you got, Marathon. And now that the game is not hitting the mark, they're like, well, this failed. Let's see how you do. So no matter which way you turn it, they're going to be facing a ton of pressure.
Or if Highguard did well, then it would pave the way for Marathon to have a better chance. But here's something we have to discuss. Aren't we really living in an era where everything is slop until proven otherwise? That's how people act. Tell me you're not seeing
guilty
that.
Like guilty till proven innocent at this point. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. But I mean, it's the internet. It's the internet. That's just the way it's going to be. The internet's not going to change. People aren't going to change. People are. And the thing is, the way people act online, for the most part, probably don't act like that in real life. A lot of them just, get out their angst or maybe some weird aggressive fantasy, I don't know, online. And then when in the real life, they're probably just much more reserved, or who knows? I don't know. I just find that it's an outlet for people who would never be able to do that in real life because you get punched in the mouth.
Right.
Hard.
Selden in the chat says, Xbot's still talking about Concord, laugh out loud. He says a crap game, Concord, because he didn't like it. I played the beta and I thought, this game's all right. I don't think I'll play it, but it's not for me. But
dude, the hero shooter movement is what kills me every time.
Yeah.
The floaty, slow movement. You know what I mean? Like the thong. Even Marvel Rivals. As popular as it is, and it's got great characters, great costume or character design, and all that stuff. They've nailed it all there. I just can't deal with the floaty, slow, long, gigantic, like I'm running on the moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Movement. Like I'm so used to boots on the ground for real.
Bad, but
it's not as bad, but it's still there.
You and I were complaining about Highguard in real time when we were playing together on the stream. Like,
yes,
it's just you're walking through chocolate pudding everywhere.
Yes,
and
I know I hate that, dude. And especially when you're playing like you're used to playing like Call of Duties or you're playing Battlefields or whatever, and you're just flying. You know what I mean? Like even Halo Infinite's multiplayer was, no pun intended, infinitely better in terms of its movement than this. I know. I couldn't help myself. But it really is. And you play that, you're like, this is moving nicely. You don't feel that thonky, Space Marine 2, also, I hated that. Like, it's like, oh, you feel the weight of the armor. And I'm like, and I'm falling asleep when I'm going up a staircase because it takes me 8 years to get up the staircase because you're like,
but you play Gears 4 and 5, and those characters move a lot faster than the old Gears.
They move faster.
I like the way it feels. So,
well, if you play Gears of War Reloaded, did you notice that they sped it up a little bit, like more like the modern style?
Oh,
like
no,
dude, I finished it. What kind of an X-bot are you?
I don't know, Meg. I just loaded up Reloaded, and I was like, I don't want to do this, because I think I played the remaster like 2 years before. I'm like, I don't want to do this again. I mean, I'm not a very good Xbot. Let's see here.
By the way, Leon is 51 in Requiem.
That's crazy. I would have thought he'd be like 40 or something.
No, because if you actually do the timeline, the last time that he was in a full game, a prevalent full game was Resident Evil 4, and it's like 31 years or something from, or like 27 or 31 years or something like that difference. No, 24 years difference in time between Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Requiem. So he actually comes back in full force in this one. He does make appearances here and there, but it's not like, I'm talking about like as like the main protagonist kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there it is. So he's a 51.
Ocarina Hero.
Confirmed by the director.
Ocarina Hero is correcting and saying he's 49, not 51, but who gives a flying crap? It's close enough.
It's right here. Confirmed by Resident Evil 9 director Koshi Nakanishi.
You made that name up.
He is 51 years old.
Happy Bomb in the chat says, did anyone realize that Pharrell Williams is 52 years old?
Oh, wait a minute.
He's written
right
and produced huge hits for a long time, and I always thought he was probably maybe 38, maybe 40, because he'd been around for a decade in my knowledge. He writes some hits. I'm not a big fan of his, but he's got the Indiana Jones hat. I don't know. Yeah, he was.
Ocarina is actually not wrong either, because right underneath it says most Resident Evil historians, I didn't even know that was a thing, are actually saying that he's 49.
Okay.
But like what the hell is that? So the experts are saying 49, but the director's saying 51.
Ask
Can
any
we make
51
up our mind?
Ask anyone 50 or 51-year-old guy or girl how old they are, and they'll say 49. There's your answer.
Well, yeah, they gotta lie. Yeah.
Speaking of numbers, let's talk about a bunch of developers were pulled on their desire to develop for different platforms, because in the world, you develop for PC, which encompasses everything from all the other storefronts. And then you have PlayStation, then you have Nintendo Switch, and then you have the Xbox. And surprise, surprise, Xbox is in dead last of developers' most desired platform to develop for. But the Randall Thor pointed out an interesting kind of Xbox tax take from the media outlet that reported that only 20% of developers want to develop on the Xbox platform. But what he thinks they should have said was half as many people want to develop for the Nintendo Switch too, because the media said, I can't remember which article it was. I pulled this stuff off the top of my head because I'm not going to pull the articles, but the media said that half as many people want to develop on the Xbox as they do for the Switch and PlayStation 5. But then the other half want to make their games on PC. So the numbers, since I can't put them up on screen, 80% want to develop for PC, 40% want to develop for Xbox or for PlayStation and Switch, and then 20% want to develop for Xbox. So it's kind of like a half-life dissolving of the radiation there, half-life thing. So 20% does not sound very good, but it kind of makes sense, because when you look at games sold, 80% of them, here, I'll give you an example off the top of my head. 80% of the sales of Helldivers 2 were on PC. The remainder, the 40%, were on, most of them were on PlayStation, and then 20% were on Xbox, something like that. I looked at the numbers. It was pretty close to that if I did the numbers off the top of my head. And this is what we see all the time, right, Mag? We see when a game sells, like even Call of Duty, 80% of the sales are on PlayStation and 20% are on Xbox. So, I
can't remember what that breakdown. So was that now when I knew about like the 84? It was 84% for Black Ops 6. They didn't give numbers for Black Ops 7. They probably won't. Black Ops 6 was 84% sold on PlayStation. Now, does that mean? And I'm asking. Does that mean that the other 16% was split between PC and Xbox? Because that doesn't seem to make any sense either. No. I would imagine there's a lot of PC.
Yes.
So were they specifically talking about console sales in that respect?
I don't know this for sure, but you guys can cash in in the chat. I tend to think that Call of Duty isn't really a big deal on PC like it is on Xbox and PlayStation. At least that's what I've kind of gauged. So keep that in mind as well, Mag, that like PC guys aren't jumping all over the Call of Duty every year. Anyway, I don't know. You're not saying anything, and I'm typing the. Wait, did I lose you?
No, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. I'm typing in.
Sorry,
I'm typing in the timestamp, and I'm thinking, I don't know. you were saying that, yeah, are the PC numbers kind of funky? I think they might be on Call of Duty. Do you have any, like, have you heard anything like that?
On what? Sorry, say again?
About PC guys don't buy Call of Duty as much as the console guys. And maybe look at the chat as well, because I feel like that's
the chat
kind of
might have a better idea,
because
I've never really looked into that stat, but I would imagine. What's up, Furious? How you doing? The thing is, I was looking at it, and like I said once again, when they said that the sales were 84% on PlayStation, I'm like, that can't include PC. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's I don't know however many a couple of million or million whatever, however many million people are on Game Pass, on PC Game Pass. There's still a ton of people on Steam that will play Call of Duty anyway. I know a ton of PC. Not that my hemisphere does not represent the world. So I was thinking that breakdown was probably just the console sales. So I'm thinking it was 84% on PlayStation, 16 on Xbox, and then the PC was a whole other ball of wax. So I don't know. Michael in the chat is saying about 30% of Warzone are PC. Now that's the free to play. So I don't know. It's like but I expect the numbers to actually be quite high. So I think that those stats were just console only. And like I said, I've never actually looked into it myself because it was nothing I was entirely interested in, but I'm more curious to see how this year ended up. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Darn it. I was going to switch to my other keyboard here.
Okay. Oh, you're trying to switch the keyboards. Yeah. It sucks when something happens when you're live.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Because you're live and it's like, what are you supposed to do? Bernie, I see in the chat, he says, at least Mag's camera's staying up tonight. Yeah, what happened is I did a live stream on Friday, and after an hour and 41 minutes, my camera overheated. And it was really hot in the room. And on top of that, I had it streaming in 4K. So I think it overheated the camera. So like the last half hour of my stream, it turned off like every 15 or 10 minutes or so. And then I'm like, all right, guys, I got to call it. So yeah, I had to fix some settings. I just got the thing, so I'm still trying to figure out the lighting still. You know what I mean? It's like, it's funny. The lighting on my Streamlabs looks totally different than with you right now.
Oh, really?
So like, yeah. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, I look a little bit too bright, but I'm like, wait a minute. If I screw around with this, when I go back to my Streamlabs, where obviously I do 99% of all my YouTube work, I'm going to show up dark. I'm going to have to fart around with it and change it again.
Yeah,
I'm like, no.
You're just getting a direct feed right into Discord, but it does look good. Yeah. It looks everything's working great. Yeah, whenever something technically goes wrong.
I'm also very pale. Dude, yeah. It's the middle of winter. I mean, we get sun, but it's also minus 25 with the sun. So it's not like we're going outside to get some color on this skin. You know what I mean? I'm pale. I'm the whitest Italian in the history of Italians. I'm telling you that right now, folks. Epic treasures in the house. Oh my goodness. Where has she been? I mean, besides doing her own work.
Yeah, don't change your camera, Mag. It looks great.
I'm not changing nothing.
There were days when I was just messing around with my my mic like ad nauseum until I couldn't even do the show. But
okay, yeah.
So let's talk about the Xbox financials. You've covered this in a video. Sure. I kind of bookended it in my last video. Mag, I'll let you take the reins on this.
Okay.
I'm going to be gingerly careful with this, but you and I talked offline about some stuff that you were hearing, and I had talked to some people connected to Microsoft and Xbox about what this means. So we're going to carefully give before I give the mic to Mag, we're going to carefully give our insight and perception and information, and you can take it with a grain of 4XP white gummy. How about that?
The funny thing is that you talk to separate people at Microsoft. I talked to separate people at Microsoft. And when we came in the middle and discussed it, the information was almost identical. So, I mean, that you know what I mean? Like, so I was like, oh, how does Colt know exactly what I know? And it wasn't the same person. It was different people. So it was very interesting to see. But there's stuff I can talk about. I'll talk about. I don't care. I've already talked about some of it before, so I just won't go into too much detail, and I obviously won't say where we got all this info from. But the interesting thing is, what do you want to talk about first? There's a lot to unwrap here.
Give them like the percentage down off the top of your head. We don't have to have the numbers perfect, but like what was down and how bad was it, and then we'll go from there. Because this is a few days old now.
Yeah, it's a few days old, and everybody's already seen it by now. Off the top of my head, I remember that hardware is down 32% year over year. These are all just overviews, folks. On top of that, I believe the services were down 5%, and something else was down 9%. God damn it! What the hell was it?
Games.
I can't remember what it was.
Games and services. No, games and services down 5%.
Yes, that I got.
9%.
Oh, revenue was down. Sorry,
revenue.
It was revenue.
Gaming
Revenue was down 9%. Now, the thing is that we have to look at when you look at all that, you can look at it and say, okay, well, not good. Okay, when you have negative, and the worst thing is, I was on that call, by the way. Okay, I was on that financial call, and I was listening to the whole thing. And when Amy Hood talked about Xbox, I never heard her talk. She sounded like one of those people at the, when you go down south and they have like the, what the hell are they called? They have those things.
Oh, the auctions?
The auctions? Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
It's like Yellowstone. The cows come in and the guys go, Xbox is not doing so good. Xbox revenue down 9%. Hardware down 32%. And I'm like, would you slow down, woman?
Was she really?
Let me hear what's talking about. Dude, she was talking so fast. But she's an accountant. Listen, she's a CFO. They talk fast because there's numbers going on. They got to kill
Xbox as quickly as possible, right?
And so, but when they talk quick because their minds are always moving 100 miles an hour. You know, when you get like those wicked smart people and they talk like 1,000 miles an hour because that's how their brain moves. Yeah. That's how she is. So it wasn't, I don't think she was just doing that on purpose to glaze over it, but it's just how she is. But it was kind of funny. I did notice that. However, when she did do her talk, when she talked about the financials, she was very adamant about saying that any loss that was coming from the company was coming from the gaming division. So, she did say that. And then, of course, she did say that. If you go listen to it, you can listen to it. And so the rest of the company is like shooting for the moon, right? So they're doing fine in every other aspect. And then they're like, yeah, and then the losses that we're facing are in the gaming division, blah, blah, blah. You can go listen to it. You can find a recording, guys. You can, people have clipped it by now. So anyways, the point is not great. However, if you look at some of those numbers, and this is not some weird kind of cope or anything like that, okay? Because I don't have any, never mind. I don't have any love for the corporation. But when you see that, like, for example, services are decreased by 5%, and you see that on top of that, the revenue's down 9%, that is recoverable because that's a small number that can fluctuate at any moment. If anybody knows anything about financials, which I'm sure some people in the chat do, these things fluctuate very frequently and are fairly volatile, I'd like to say, especially when it comes to an entertainment business. Entertainment can be very volatile. If you want to liken the video game industry to Hollywood, for example, I always bring up this example because it's very relevant, right? So if you think about it, you've got a short window, let's say in the summer between June and August, where they're just nailing hit after hit after hit in the theater, right? And they're hitting billion-dollar movies, and you see the revenue fire through the roof. All of a sudden, September to November, it drops down again. That's a different financial quarter. Then you get to the Christmas season when they're trying to pump out the Academy Award-style movies. They have a huge rush in revenue again, but then all of a sudden in January, it drops 10 to 15% again. Now, that's not an excuse, but there is something that has to be also addressed in that situation, is that this quarter specifically was all about the holiday season. That is supposed to be the high point for the video game industry.
And it was, people see quarter 2 2026 and they're like, they think it's all about the last 3 months. It is.
No.
It's basically the, I don't know how you say it, Christmas time, if I'm talking international. It's basically around the Christmas time era of 2024. Compared to the Christmas time of 2025. And that's where the revenue drop is. And I want to interject here because, they talk about gaming revenue being down. The people I talk to that are connected to what's going on at Microsoft and Xbox, they put all of the blame on the failure of Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Put simply, Black Ops 6 in 2024 was one of the highest points of the Call of Duty franchise in a long time. That was the one you and I love, where the mannequins chase you and you're being gassed out and you're going crazy. It's just an awesome, awesome campaign. It did really, really well. And it was one of the first, the second official Call of Duty under Activision and Xbox, right? 2024. And now this is over, it's a year and 3 months ago. 2025, when Call of Duty Black Ops 7 launched, it is the worst selling, worst performing, worst rated Call of Duty in history. And the people that I talked to said that Call of Duty right now makes up over 80% of the gaming revenue for Xbox right now. It's not Halo. It's not Minecraft. It's not everyone else's
really
games.
Bad?
It's really
Isn't that
bad.
Not good?
Yeah,
that's
dude,
not good
tough.
because you can't just lie everything on Call of Duty and be like, "All right, dude, we just spent $80 billion, $70 billion."
Don't.
I'm excluding Bethesda, and they're like,
Yeah.
"You got to keep this whole thing afloat with one IP." That doesn't make any sense. But you know what? I'll give them some grace here. And I'll give them 10-month grace because the important thing is they are launching. I know. Everybody kicking the song, turn the song up, crank it up to 11. Halo Gears and Forza are coming. Yeah, it's coming this year.
Yeah.
If those don't hit, then you can officially say in December, you know what, forget it. Then you could say that there's nothing holding up this tent except for Call of Duty, and
Mag,
they're cooked at that point.
Mag, if Xbox and Microsoft were putting all their eggs in the Call of Duty basket, they wouldn't be making 40 project games right now. They wouldn't have 40 games in the works.
Of course not.
It's like saying that Microsoft and Xbox, and they totally could. They could put all of their leanings into Candy Crush because that is a major moneymaker for them, but they don't. They diversified. And this is going to be part of the theme about what Mag and I explain when it comes to as Xbox dead. They are diversified into cloud. They are diversified into PC, OEM, console, handheld, and just making a ton of games. And now they're putting a bunch of games on PlayStation, which I've heard they're really happy with the return. Not just Forza Horizon 5, like some of their other games have made them enough of a profit, even if they don't sell like gangbusters on PlayStation. So yeah, it is pretty crazy. But it's really about those numbers down are really about, because I had to, sorry, Meg, let me finish this one sentence.
Do you think?
My friend said Xbox and Microsoft are cooked. It's over. And they're losing all this money. I'm like, when they're negative in revenue, they're not losing money. They're making less money than the report year or the report quarter before. And every business, every YouTube channel like ours, right? We don't want to see your numbers and say, last January, you were down 9% in views than you were, like this January, you're down 9% than you were last January. You always want to be up and up, always up with that. That number always go up.
Even if it's 1%, you always want to be heading in the right trajectory, right? That's when I look at my analytics, even if it's like whatever, as long as I see green arrows pointing up, I'm like, okay, that's heading in the right direction or whatever. Even if it's such a minute percent.
Mag, you're growing an awesome channel. And go subscribe to Mag. He's got over 3,000, like 3.14 thousand subs.
No, 3.2. We crossed 3.2 now. So
there you go.
We're climbing up to 3.5. Yeah, we're getting there.
It's good to see plus 2% or plus 4%, but everybody wants to see plus 15, plus 30% or whatever.
Right.
You definitely want to see that. I saw somebody say Cope. I don't know if they're talking about us, but this is how 100%. Business works. The stockholders get pissed off when they see that their revenue is not always going up because Xbox is profitable. They're making money. They're making a ton of money on games and services. Even Satya said that cloud services and engagement on the console was up, but the money's not growing, and they're getting pissed off. And for Xbox fans, you should be worried.
I've spoken to and the thing is, I've spoken to a lot of investors, and that's how I get on these calls. By the way, so like I get in there, and I kind of sneak in through the back door, and I listen to what's going on or whatever, and I speak to these guys, and they're saying, listen, we wouldn't be investing in Microsoft if the rest of the company wasn't just absolutely blowing up in a positive way. In a positive way, like just just keep getting bigger. Otherwise, they don't even think about the gaming division, but they will. They said. Some of them, the guy I spoke to, said that if the gaming division continues to drag down the company where it hits the stock, which of course is going to hit their wallet, then they're going to start thinking twice. But as of now, it's not doing so. Now, this is not going to be some weird kind of cope or anything like that, but I'm still going to give them, right now, here's the thing. You look at those numbers, you want to be, like you just said, you want to be in the positives, even if it's just 1%, even if it's 0.5%, something that shows that your trajectory is in the right direction. Yeah. But when you come to a financial meeting and the CFO of one of the biggest corporations on the planet saying, Yeah, everybody's positive except for them. They're negative, negative, and even more negative. And that doesn't look great. Now, the thing is, though, it's not over. It's not it. It's not dead yet. Okay, look. See this scythe? The scythe is not dead yet. Now the thing is, they're gonna carry on because I've already said last week of the same thing I said on my show and here. I talked about how their focus is not going to be Game Pass so much. It will be there as a stream of revenue. However, their focus is going to be on publishing and accessibility. What I mean by that is for publishing, we all know what that means. That means Switch and PlayStation. PC's been happening for years. The other thing is accessibility. Accessibility is a huge driving force for them that they're looking for the future, because clearly they already know they can't compete in the console space. They're looking for accessibility. Now, what I did in my video, Colt, last week, which was monstrously successful, by the way, I typed in Xbox News on Google while I was recording. And I read out 6 out of 8. You know how like Google pulls up like all the, the newest articles, like they're right there and you could scroll left to right and just read them all. I read 6 out of 8. Okay, live on the air. And you know what it was? It said Xbox Cloud, fill in the blank. Xbox Cloud available now. Xbox Cloud accessibility changes. Xbox Cloud, 6 out of 8 articles that came out within 48 hours were about that was in Xbox News. You could type it in on Google and it was right there. And the crazy thing is, I'm like, you see what they're doing? That's their focus. They are focusing on that. And
well, there was also a big deal with the Xbox Cloud dashboard, which gave us an insight into the brand new next-gen dashboard we can already see right now in its genesis. So, yeah, that's partially why that's in there. But, yeah,
they want accessibility because they know that they can't compete in a traditional form. The Japanese are still doing traditional business. Nintendo and Sony are still operating in the same way, and they're monstrously successful. Let them do their thing. Microsoft is like, listen, man, we got the game, so we're opening up a different avenue. What are we doing? We're doing publishing. So we're going to feed the beasts that are already out there. And that's why there's going to be more focus on the Switch 2, by the way. As the Switch 2 slowly gains in popularity over the next year or so, especially if they start releasing some first-party titles that people will want to buy that hardware, is that what's going to happen is you're going to get your Starfields on there. You're going to get your other Xbox games are going to go on the Switch, and that's where they're going to start getting that revenue stream. The PlayStation already doing so, and as you've already mentioned, they're happy for the most part for that. Now, the thing is, though, we can't ignore these other titles that I just don't feel we're hitting, and that sucks because there's a couple of games in there that, and I talked about that in my video as well, even though
I did too. Yeah.
I was about to say the F word. I'm not going to say that. Even though some people came after me, I'm like, did you guys actually watch the video? Like, clearly not.
Or did you watch how those games did?
Well, this thing is, I said the games that they released in 25 scored well. They all scored well. I read off the Metacritics of those games, like Avowed, South of Midnight.
You did.
Doom the Dark Ages, Outer Worlds 2. I said the only outlier was Ninja Gaiden, which was not theirs. And by the way, the other thing is that they had in their service, they had the Game of the Year, which was Expedition 33. And then Call of Duty was the only outlier that did not score incredibly well. I said, but if you look at those other games, they were mid to high 80s Metacritic. That is extraordinary. The problem is nobody effing played them.
Yeah, Meg's talking about Gears Reloaded, Ninja Gaiden 4, Call of Duty, Black Ops 7, Outer Worlds 2, and this was
Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed underperformed, and
Avowed was outside of the fiscal quarter, but
Oh no, I wasn't talking about the quarter. I was talking about the entire year.
The entire year, I know that Oblivion remake
Microsoft
did well.
Was not happy.
Yeah, this is a really good video, Meg. I think I ended up making my video that afternoon after I saw yours, which helped guide in a lot of things that I said, but when you're looking at the fiscal year that we've been talking about the past 15 minutes, Xbox had Call of Duty, which did really horrible, and then there was no makeup because nobody bought Ninja Gaiden. I'm gonna be facetious, right, or whatever. I'm gonna exaggerate. Like in the grand scheme of things, nobody bought Ninja Gaiden 4. I don't even.
No, it didn't do well.
I feel like nobody even really played it. I didn't even want to play it. Like I played a little bit of the review, and I'm like, I'm playing something else, and then I got Outer Worlds 2, which not very many people bought, and didn't grow people on Game Pass really. And Gears Reloaded did horribly on Xbox and PlayStation because nobody felt like they needed that game. like they needed Oblivion earlier. So yeah, this was all the pieces of the puzzle like went into the garbage for Xbox and Microsoft. They had a really rough end of the year compared to last year. The funny thing was last year, Mag, before it, we're talking 2024. The year before, they just had Indiana Jones and a really big Call of Duty, and Indiana Jones did pretty well, I think. But it's so funny, those two games.
I think Indiana Jones actually did all right.
Yeah, I think
they did all right.
too.
Yeah, they did all right. I'm looking forward to South of Midnight on Switch 2, actually. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy it on the Switch 2. Yeah, I'm going to buy it. I don't care. I mean, I already played it. I already finished it twice, but I'll play it again. I really enjoyed it, so I'll do that. But like Doom also didn't hit the way they expected it to, and I know that too. There's we actually expected a lot more from the threequel, so to speak, and they said it didn't hit performance numbers. Avowed didn't hit performance numbers. By the way, there's an article out there from GameFAQs. I know they're not always 100%, but what they're saying is that from their research that Ninja Gaiden 4 sold less than 12,000 copies in Japan. I don't believe that, but that's an article that's up here, so I just pulled it up, and they're looking at Steam stats and everything else, and they're breaking it all down, and yikes, even it reached a peak of only 11,000 players on Steam, concurrent players. So that's really bad. That was from Reset Era, by the way. So that's really bad. Reset Era crashed and burned.
Yeah, let me see
Reset
what
Era said that.
Yeah, there was Mag's right. There was a peak of just over 11,000 people on Steam that played Ninja Gaiden 4. Of course, if you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to play this new Ninja Gaiden, you can get it play it on Game Pass for next to nothing. So,
hey, but you want to blow Indiana Jones through the stratosphere?
Do I want to blow Indiana Jones?
My business idea? No, not in a bad way. No, God, come on, Colt, that's so rude. I got an idea. Hear me out, folks. What? I know some people from Microsoft listen to the show, especially the ones that message me after the show and they go, "Meg, you should have said this. I told you to say this."
You puppet.
Yeah, puppet. You puppet. Here's the thing.
Yeah, lay it on me.
Do the Ubisoft thing. Meg, and not crash and burn and fire all your employees and shut down games.
Meg, yes. Wait. We have to whisper that way that the real insiders can't hear us. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Jeff Grubb.
Yeah.
Plug your ears. I know you're listening because you love us dearly. Yeah. There you go. I love that you could do that sound effect on cue. It's fantastic. Here's my idea. Go
this one.
The Ubisoft, the Avatar route. Now that the game's been out for a year, it's been already do a big update.
For which one?
Like just
which game? I
forgot. Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And add, because you remember Avatar was a first-person game, right?
Yeah.
I platinumed that game in first person. You know how hard that was? It was ridiculous in first person. Like, it was so tough to navigate, but I did it anyway because it was a great game. You know what you do? Go back and do an update for Indiana Jones and make it third person. Just like they did with Avatar, because the Avatar third person update is spectacular.
I need to play it.
Everybody I know that's playing it saying, dude, it's a whole new game. It's a whole new game. They cleaned up the graphics a little bit because it's about 2 years old. They cleaned it up a little bit. They made it even more beautiful. Now the third person mode and all that kind of jazz. Do that with Indiana Jones. You watch what happens.
I think it would probably spike the game pretty good. Nice, good spike.
I think it would work. And don't be a doubter, man. Don't be a doubting Thomas. I need you to have faith, man. I think that would be a huge thing. And then all of a sudden, now you got an Uncharted on your hands. I'm just saying it might give it a resurgence.
Indiana Jones already has whip swinging and climbing in third person.
Yes, they did, yeah. But I mean, if
with
you
the
made
punching,
it more comprehensive,
the punching was kind of like locked in, like a set animation type thing that worked really well and didn't look clunky, but.
Listen to Son of Asgard. Asgard. He says, "Yep, Avatar's so much better and looks amazing." Yeah, see, like everybody I know that has played Avatar in third person saying it's a brand new game. This is incredible now.
I need to.
It's a whole new experience. It's a whole new experience.
It's a whole new world.
And then there's people in the chat who are disagreeing, and that's totally fine. And they're like, I like it better in first person. I'm like, yeah, that's totally cool. I'm just saying. I think that the game is cold now. I think it's already reached its peak, on the multi-console front or whatever. Might as well just fart around with it. Get a group of 10 people on it and just be like, hey, man, listen, do some updates. You don't have to have a whole bloody studio work on it. Have 10 guys.
Machine Games is working on Wolfenstein 3 right now, but grab 12 people and say, hey, can you make this work? And I don't know. Grumpy old fart.
I don't know if Avatar is dropping in Game Pass, but it should.
I think there was a tease today from Xbox that was a zoom in on some type of reptilian creature, and I wasn't sure, but I think it was.
I knew it.
The flying creature from Avatar. So I think it is coming to Game Pass.
That'd be cool. Then just like Star Wars Outlaws, dude. Like a lot of people played Star Wars Outlaws that never got their hands on it because it showed up in Game Pass. I'm like, guys, I implore you, play this game if you're a fan of the original trilogy. You will love this game. So many people message me. I'm like, dude, this game is fantastic. I'm like, I told you it was great.
Yeah,
I'm telling
good.
you the same with Avatar.
Yeah,
so if Avatar goes into Game Pass, please play it. It's really good.
Yeah, it just kind of, I don't know. I think I said it last week. It just overstayed its welcome, but I was ready to move on to something else. When people say Xbox is dead, we are getting so many games. Another big game was announced to be Play Anywhere. And if you're only on Xbox Series S or X, Play Anywhere doesn't mean anything to you, but it should mean something when developers are like, oh, our brand new game, put it on PC and Xbox for the same price. This is huge, especially when developers are like, we don't want to make a game for Xbox, but they're literally letting you have cross progression and cross entitlement across PC. And even if developers skip Xbox, the future is actually looking pretty bright. A very highly rated 88 Metacritic mountain climbing game called Karn. I'd never heard of it before.
Oh, I know the
but
one. Yeah. No, I know the one.
It's being praised by a lot of people that we follow, and it's only on PC and PlayStation. And these guys were like, "Oh, we're not doing the Xbox port right now." So Xbox does have to deal with that. We'll get into that in just a moment because I want to talk about the future of Xbox, which is right around the corner, and people have really resonated with the video I made the other day. Grumpy Old Fart, thanks so much for the Canadian 2, says,
hey,
Xbox
what's up, dude?
Gonna be back to life like the 360 next gen. No, I don't think so, but they're definitely going to be very busy. We'll get into that. Face 23, sure. I got his. Let's see. Toby Leahy, total 92. Thank you so much for I ran into my microphone, like just go right for it. Thank you for the 10-pound super. He says, why is everyone putting news up that Tomb Raider anniversary is the 14th of February and there's a surprise happening, like a remaster or something? Not quite sure if this is true or false. I saw the Tomb Raider team like tweeting out some videos of old footage from their games, but right. I don't know when that next the Tomb Raider remaster's coming out. Have they said
Legacy
what
of Atlantis? No, they haven't said, but I mean, the 30th anniversary is in November, the same time as Halo.
Okay.
They both dropped in the same month. Right? I mean,
I was hoping we'd be playing Legacy like this spring, before everything gets kicked off toward the last half.
That doesn't mean it's coming out in November. I'm just saying that's when the actual anniversary is in November. But if it was coming out February 14th, they would have advertised it by now. There's no way they're going to be like, oh, by the way, tomorrow is Tomb Raider. Like, no. They're going to put this out there. They want this game to sell. I'm buying it, obviously, day one. That's an absolute must. I will buy that. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But like I said, they've given no indication.
Yeah, I mean, you expect a few months leeway when that game is going to come out. They're not going to just drop it.
In 2
weeks.
My guess is that they will they'll talk about it at the Summer Games Fest and then give a release date after the Summer Games Fest or during the Summer Games Fest.
Oh yeah,
so I think we'll
that's
see
solid.
We'll see another trailer because if they're going to launch it between now and spring, they would have said so already. And that's an IP that you don't want to not say anything about, right? You want to have that out there, people talking about it for a few months, anticipating the game, whatever else. And it looks absolutely stunning. So I would imagine Summer Games Fest will get a proper trailer with a release date somewhere in whenever the hell they decide to release it. So I don't know, we'll figure it
out. Chris R55, thanks for the 5, says Microsoft is slowly making a couple of decisions, leaning off of AI, but still too leveraged to it. OpenAI is holding up the market and IOU's bubble. I don't think Microsoft is leaning off of AI at all. That one of their major problems for their shortfall was that they've spent so much money building these huge, massive data centers around the US and around the world. And the investors are like, where's our money back on that? And like, they're just getting started. So this caused a major Microsoft tanking of like 13% in the stock price. And just to add insult to injury, a bunch of video game stock, you probably saw this, Mag, crashed hard because investors think that video games are going to be made by AI in full stop, and they don't like the way they look, which is you made a great piece of content today about some of this AI slop.
You talking about Genie 3?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so Genie 3 was shown over the last 4 or 5 days or whatever else. And what ended up happening is a lot of investors, as I said in my video, a lot of investors were talking about it, and they were saying, well, you know what, this is obviously the wave of the future, whatever. And so we saw the stocks of Roblox and Unity. We saw CD Projekt Red. We saw Take-Two Interactive. We saw a bunch of others. I'm not going to name them all. There was a bunch of others, and they all basically crashed and burned. And as a result of that, it was because investors were kind of spooked at the idea, and were like, well, what's the point of all of this if Google Genie is just going to be able to do it? Now, what they did not look into, because, you know, I would imagine a lot of them probably aren't gamers, are not really in tune in the industry, is that program can only run just a few minutes at a time. It's incredibly expensive. And on top of that, it runs at 720p at 24 frames a second. So these are standards that do not fit in.
Yeah, and that's the free stuff. That's somebody, you know.
The free stuff, sure. But it's still, those aren't, you know, those are not standards that we live up to in 2026. Sure, if you put more money into it or whatever, you're going to get better performance out of it. But the way that I saw it is that right now, it's nothing really to worry about. However, we shouldn't judge anything on its first steps. That's like a human being born, let's say, okay, and a 1-year-old is walking, like, you know, little kids, dude, like that.
I'm going to see if I can find something while you're
talking.
talking.
Little kids walking like this, okay? And then we're judging that person for the rest of their life. They go, look at that loser, can't even walk. Like, they can walk, but they suck at it. And I'm like, dude, they're 1 year old. When they're 18, they're not going to be running the same way, right? So we know that. So we can't judge on their first steps. The problem with this is that I think they should still be concerned. And it's something that, because over time, it'll get better and better and better. Do I have to bring up the example of Will Smith eating spaghetti in AI? And now you could barely tell the difference if you have really good AI. You could, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute. After about a minute or 30 seconds, you're like, that's not real. You know what I mean? When you get the really fancy AI.
I'm going to show you something, and this is probably paid AI. This
there you
is
go, Fuzzy. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, this is sorry. It won't be in perfect focus, but this is HD, like 4K, 60 FPS, and this isn't a video game. This is just like fantasy stuff, and it is really, really high quality. It'll zoom in on like the eye. If I could hold this like straight. But we're talking
it's okay.
like
your shaky alcoholic hands are fine.
Right.
We'll forgive you. Yeah.
I mean, look at the visual detail here. And this is someone who pays for AI, right? And they're putting in prompts like make this a female warrior flying on a flying tiger.
Dude, she's hot.
Does she have a younger brother?
Like really hot.
Anyway, watch. Like this is all really cool. This isn't a game. But someone is paying $30 a month for this type of AI regeneration, and they're just making a 2-minute video that looks really, really cool. And everyone could call this stuff AI slop, but the problem with a lot of, like I saw a thing of the Rainbow Road of Mario Kart. I saw a Russian-style Grand Theft Auto 5 with modern graphics, and all it's doing is just copying, and everyone's like, this is insane, and AI made this game in 1 minute. I'm like, that's not a game. That's not programmed. You can't control that. You're not playing that. And investors see this and go, this is going to be video gaming. We've already got Disney Plus.
Not yet.
Disney just said that they're like by the end of 2026, you're going to have shorts on Disney that are fully AI generative. And people are like, F you.
Yeah, I know.
But I've seen some really, really impressive entertaining stuff to watch on Instagram or TikTok that's AI driven that just looks like someone rendered some amazing visuals. I've seen like this quasi retro sci-fi stuff that's like really hyperly detailed, but it's all AI slop. And I did a Grand Theft Auto 6 video a couple of weeks ago, and I took the photos that the screenshots that Rockstar created, and I animated them for 3 seconds in Grok, and I showed those, and people in the comments are like, this AI slop sucks, get it out of here. I can understand why people completely hate it. As a Gen Xer, I'm mildly to super entertained by some of the stuff. And then there's stuff that's hilarious that we see. I know you and I share stuff back and forth across Instagram Reels that's funny or spoof stuff really well. And then somebody in the chat, Boba Fett, he has these amazing looking thumbnails, and he made a joke that they're AI slop, but he makes some really nice stuff, and he's kind of like steering AI to have that done. But people don't like to talk about AI very long. But
but the thing is, what's happening is we're looking at it from a very narrow focus, and the problem with that is that everybody's like, we're all like, oh well, this is what it is. No, they'll never do this, never do that. And I'm like, yeah, right now. We have to stop thinking of right now. It's not like the technology is stopping tomorrow and they're like, nope, we're not developing anything further. It's not going to improve. Whatever you just saw is all we're getting. No, that is the mistake that everybody's making, is that you're not thinking about 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, how it's going to get the point where it's going to continuously improve. It'll eventually get cheaper and more efficient to operate. Yep. And that is what they're doing. They're not playing the tomorrow game. They're playing the 5-year game, the 10-year game, the 25-year game. And that is what people don't see. And so I'm like, listen, they're not a threat to the industry right now. Okay, so maybe for you and I, Colt, for the rest of our working days or our working years in our life, we may be okay. I mean, we're not coders, but you know what I'm saying. Our video game days, we'll probably still have, for the most part, humans or whatever else, at least until my mid-50s. Beyond that, I can't say anything beyond that, because I'm like, no, because in 5 years, this is going to get better. And like I said, do not stop. Like, that's like judging a human on their first steps. Don't judge a human on their first steps. They're going to improve over time. And they're going to become, they could become an NFL player. They could become a basketball player. They could become a superstar, whatever. That's when you have to look at it. Years of progress and working at it and training and learning and all that kind of stuff. So this is not a threat now. It will be a threat later. So this Genie 3 is the first step. The Genie 3 that we just saw, and I watched a bunch of clips. I put a bunch of my videos today. I did 2 videos. I did a short and I did a long form video. In both of them, the clips, I put 3 different clips. I had about 7 of them, but I only used 3 because I liked the way they looked. And the thing is, that's the Will Smith eating spaghetti moment. Okay, when you watch that, you're like, all right, it looks like Grand Theft Auto, but the guy's walking slow. There's not much happening around him.
It's not doing anything. It's just bringing imagery to life that it's seen, and it's taking what it knows Grand Theft Auto looks like walking, and then it's putting photorealistic Russian imagery over top of it, and it makes this. It's kind of like a miracle. Like you crack the egg open, and you're like, wow, it did this in 1 second or in 1 minute. And Magnus is like, Magnum in the chat is like, great, we don't have to hear about it in 10 years. In 10 years, it will be ubiquitous. Like, you can't run away from it. I don't talk about where I work, but my place is so far behind the times. They're doing a workshop about AI next week. Or this week.
They do AI at Chippendales? That's crazy, Colt. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So,
I mean, shoot, I wasn't supposed to tell the audience where you work. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. And most of the stuff that you guys that we all call slop, that we make fun of and say, get it out of here, kill it with fire. 90% of that stuff is created with a free prompt on a free program. I have 2 friends that are paying $60 a month to have the 4K full image, all of the thinking, it's using like 4 buckets of water every time they put a prompt in. But most of the slop you're seeing is the stuff that Jane, Dick, and John can just put into in a prompt. Like someone said in the chat, I think it was Game Adaptation Newscast, said, I don't know why people use grok. It's slop. It's crap. And I've used grok a bunch of times, and it creates. I wish I could show you if I had a way to put it. I've taken my thumbnails and had grok animate them. And I know it kind of looks lame, but I had this thumbnail with on one side was Fallout Power Armor, a real image from the game. In the middle, I had a car racing with Mount Fuji, which is a real photo I took and colored it up and made it look nice. And then on the other side, I had this Skyrim warrior from the Elder Scrolls official artwork. So I made this composite for this thumbnail of these 3 items, and I told grok, I just hit go on the animate. The car's going. There's parallax going on. The mountain and the trees going by with the cherry blossoms. This is all in 6 seconds. The power armor guy is running toward the camera in place, and all of the animation, the armor looks legit.
50 million into it.
This is a free prompt. Well, it's not free.
Now imagine dropping 50 million instead of 200 million for a gaming project. And this is what I'm talking about. So now you did that for free in 6 seconds.
I did it for
now. Let's say I don't know. Your average AAA game costs anywhere between 150 to 200 million dollars, right? Let's say you fire 60% of your staff eventually, and you get the AI to deal with the majority of it. So you retain about 35 to 40% of the staff. Which, of course, I saw some in the chat saying if it doesn't have the soul or whatever, you're going to lose that in the gaming. I agree with that 100%, and that's what they're going to keep the 35 to 40% of people for. So it's still going to have that vibe of the humanity and the feel of the writing and everything else. Not that the writing has been all that great these years, but the last couple of years, but the thing is they'll retain that 35 40% that'll attempt to keep that soul. The grunt work and all the other stuff and the coloring and the rendering and the graphics, that doesn't require soul. That requires someone that's sitting at the computer with a mouse, right? And so they will replace all those people. So now imagine Colt did that for free in 6 seconds. Imagine what these companies will do for you if you drop them $50 million. Now the thing is, in Magnum, it sucks. I know Magnum says I just want it to go away. The problem is when they have invested hundreds of billions of dollars at this point, it's not going away. That's the problem. And they're not going to say, oh shit, I don't want to offend the people that don't want to this and in there, but I guess we're just going to take those 400 consolidated $1 billion of all the different corporations that have invested in this. We're not going to do that anymore. Because some people are unhappy about it. No, they're going to shove it down your throat because they spent hundreds of billions of dollars between Meta, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, all of them. And as a result of that, Apple, whatever, right? And it's all there. And that's the problem. When you spend that much money, they're going to shove it down your throat and say, here, eat this because we're not giving you a choice. It cost us a lot of money.
And these corporations are using AI that we do not have access to. I have a friend in the industry that's told me that stop thinking of AI as a Grok prompt or Midjourney or ChatGPT. That's not what the corporations are using, and they're just spooling up on this. And if any of you watched my Grand Theft Auto 6 video, I'll bet you that around half of the AI animations that I used in there, you might not have thought that they were AI slop, because I tried to cut them. There's this great clip that I didn't cut, and I should have done it, and everyone called it out. There's Lucia's sitting in front of her motorcycle, and she turns her. All I did was tell it to animate, and it had her turn around, kick her leg over the bike, and sit like she was going to ride the bike, and it stopped. It's only 6 seconds. When she turned around, her leg that went on the other side of the motorcycle reappeared and straddled the bike. And it's like this sleight of hand thing that AI couldn't get right. But when I can take 6 seconds of AI and I could go like for 3 seconds, I could cut there and it does nothing weird comes up. People had no idea. And that's with basically a free prompt. I mean, I use Grok with my $8 subscription for my checkmark thing. So I am paying for it, so to speak, but it's like the consumer grade free bullcrap. So there is a future there where, and I'll piggyback off what you said, Mag, where producers and creators will use a little bit of AI to make something look beautiful that would take them forever. And then they will wrap the rest of their hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. Like, here's a good example. You can like make Harrison Ford doing this cool thing, and it's young Harrison Ford, but it looks like it's in a brand new movie, but it's not really him, it's AI. And then you got the AI Harrison Ford voice. It doesn't sound like him. All you have to do is like sweeten that up, add Harrison Ford's voice into it, and then maybe you have something that's like 80% of the way there on a free program. And we are just in the Will Smith spaghetti portion of this. Microsoft and Xbox have already admitted that they want to use AI for bug testing.
Of course,
I've said this a million times here on the show. Yeah. You know, you've got to build the game. You let all these AI models run and play the game and look for problems. You come in the morning, AI is giving them a laundry list of bugs and possible problems, and then they look through them, and maybe half of those are bull crap because AI isn't perfect. They actually find some legit problems, and then the team starts working on them with their hard work and their fingernails. And if this means
I know it sounds like we're waving the banner that the AI is amazing. AI is impressive. It has its place.
It's impressive, but I'm not saying it's amazing. It's going to be the downfall of a lot of people.
It absolutely is.
Watch the first half of The Matrix. That's all you have to do. Then after that, forget it. And of course, Terminator. That was the best part ever. Is that what's his name there? God damn it! How did I forget his name? The director.
James Cameron.
Avatar. What the hell? Oh, James Cameron. Jeez, how did I forget that name? James Cameron literally said, it was the funniest thing ever. He was on the red carpet and someone asked him about it, and he literally turned to the reporter and said, "I literally made a movie about this." He's like, "Go watch it."
Yeah.
He goes, "That is the problem." And then he walked away. It was really funny, but he was 100% correct.
Raise your hand in the chat if you watched my Xbox Confirmed 2026 video about the dashboard, about the new controller, and about neural rendering. Because real quick, I'll just say, we need to get into this. Neural rendering is a part of what Xbox and NVIDIA and AMD are doing, where it can take old games and do a neural render pass and predictive rendering technique to make games look better. It just looks ahead at what's already been rendered, and then it looks ahead and says, here's what I think it's going to be. And then they fine tune that so you can have your old games look a little better without the developers going back and like changing all the textures and stuff. Like, this is a thing. And I see Hargeet Johnny in the chat. I'm waving to him because he watched the video. Hargeet has given me a ton of insight about the real AI that we don't have access to that's going to be doing some cool stuff. In that video, Mag, I talk about Project Sybil, which is the new haptics controller. And I told Grok, take this official image, because there's an official image of the Xbox controller where instead of having the angled rubberized grips, it goes across like this. And this is like a concept of the next generation controller. We're going to talk about this on the show in a minute. But I took that official image and I brought it into Grok. I said, can you rotate this back and forth? Can you rock back and forth? Can you zoom in and X-ray it? Can you have haptic green granular stuff coming off like it's vibrating? And I used that in the video. And I don't know if people were like, ooh, AI slop. I didn't see anybody say anything, because I'm mixing the real with what AI can do and use it as a, I don't use AI very much in my video. The biggest hard work I did was creating a TV, a laptop, and an Xbox controller and a handheld, all with the dynamic dashboard, which we'll talk about as well. And that was all done in After Effects and physically bringing stuff in, shrinking it, turning it in 3D space, laying it where it is, using a transparency filter so it looks like it's shining off the glass and all this stuff. All these things help to sell an idea. And I don't know how to do 3D stuff like I used to back in 1998 or 99 or whatever. So yeah, thank you. Chris Cameron says I watched. So yeah, there's a lot. Let me grab a couple supers, Mag, and then we're gonna stop talking about AI because Mag made some amazing points, and we're gonna get into what next generation means and PlayStation as well. Meth Head Guy, thank you so much for the $1 chat with the poop emoji.
I saw that. That was really funny.
Andy Ackerman, thank you for the 2. Says Team Colt AI would today. I mean, I think Mag and I kind of feel the same. We hate how it's taken away people's jobs, but it's kind of like
it's just getting started. They're not even starting yet.
I mean, is it a force you can stop, Mag?
Wait. The apocalypse is coming. Not the apocalypse, not the human race, but certainly, the tech world jobs.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
Yeah, going with the ship. Yeah. Grandpa's Barbecue Gamecast says, wait till the game console's Elon's brain chip. Yeah. Elon thinks that we're going to be playing full games made fully by AI. I really think that
brought unmanned spaceships to outer space and back again and land inside of a donut.
Yeah,
if he can do that, he's making some kind of augmented reality. And then you know what's going to happen? It's going to malfunction, like it's going to get a bug, and all of a sudden you're going to start seeing things that aren't actually there, because then the AR, the augmented reality program, is going to screw up and you can start seeing demons, and then you're going to start attacking like walls and stuff, and people are going to drive off of cliffs, and it's going to be a big problem. That's a great idea for a horror movie, by the way. So you send out like a bug, or like a virus out to like AR, which is now implanted in people's brains. So now you can play video games with stuff that's actually not in front of you. But the problem is someone sends out a virus and then everybody starts seeing monsters and demons and everybody starts killing each other and murdering each other because they think that they're monsters. And it turns into a whole thing. Holy crap, I got to call my contacts. All right, cool.
Meg's going to make a movie.
I got to call some producers. See you later.
Yeah, and when people say, oh my gosh, look at this game that I made in Genie 3 or in Google AI or whatever, just laugh at them because you're not playing that. That thing isn't made to like control. Those characters aren't rigged and animated. That's not even a game. All it does is just looks at video games and go, I love how all of them are like a character like walking slowly or jogging down and looking and turning the camera a couple times. It's like, that's stupid. Let's talk about Magnus, because
sure.
Moore's Law is Dead has covered the specs of Xbox Magnus and the PlayStation 6, and I'm probably going to make a video about this. We got to be careful because I've covered the specs so many times. But Kepler L2, who's on NeoGAF and Twitter, who is one of the most trusted tech insiders in the business, has said that everything that Moore's Law is Dead has reported on the Magnus and the upcoming PS6 called Project Orion, he says is solid, what were the words he said? He says that he stands behind those, that he's right, that Moore's Law has got these, like him or love him, he's got a contact to AMD and NVIDIA, and these different people have told him things, and he's looked at actual hardware test results. The short part of the story is Magnus is super powerful, and I saw somebody in the chat, forgot who said it, said xCloud is crappy compared to GeForce Now. Well, Xbox knows cloud and console and PC gaming are part of a future endeavor for them. So they're going to build a super expensive PC console hybrid that is also going to be the foundation of their cloud gaming. Instead of being on a console in a server rack, you're going to be on a super powerful GPU SoC combination in a server rack. So cloud is going to be getting high quality, like 4K, 60 to 120 FPS, like all the bells and whistles on cloud as infrastructure gets better. So the connection is amazing. But that also means that their actual Xbox Magnus is going to be super capable, almost 2 times more powerful than the PS6. And get this, Mag, and here's where I'll have you take over. Sony may be delaying their PS6 until 2028 instead of 27, maybe even as late as 2030. And that's a good thing. What are your thoughts, Mag?
I did hear all those same things, but I've been told the opposite when it comes to PS6. It will not be delayed till 2030, but it may be slightly delayed, but not that much.
Like maybe a year?
Maybe by a year, or they're still firing off also, as it stands right now, even though the majority of people are out there saying, hey, I don't really need new hardware. We're totally fine with what we got. And I'm fine with it too. Like if they went to 2028, I'd be fine with that too. However, I've heard different. But like I said, we don't know until they come out and say something. I've heard that they're still aiming for 27 for PlayStation. As for Xbox, they will be dropping in 2027. And that's where the information that we could talk about here on the show. And hey, you know what? Whatever. To believe it, don't believe it, don't really matter. But here's the information that I got. Amy Hood has made it very clear that they have one chance to launch a console, and it will come in 27. Otherwise, there's a possibility they may not want to launch any hardware at all. So they've got until 2027 to release that Magnus, right? And it sounds like they will. The other thing is that basically it's the one thing that they greenlit. They did not greenlight. She as well as Satya had shot down the handheld that they were working on. You know, that dedicated handheld that they were going to do. That was shot down. It says, no, you're not doing a handheld, but you are getting a green light from Magnus, but it got to come out in 27. The only downfall of that is the revised internal pricing that they have for this unit. There'll be 2 units. And the revised pricing scheme right now.
2 units, huh?
It'll be 1 unit, but different size in terms of hard drive space and maybe power. Very similar to the ROG Xbox Ally and the Ally X.
Okay. Same
right?
power.
You know what I'm saying? So it'll be
same.
Right.
And we don't know if it's going to have a disk drive.
Don't know any of that. I don't know.
I would bet on probably not. I think that Xbox and Microsoft are going to say, F you. We waited. You're 90% digital anyway, all of our customers. But I was talking to someone who is very, very reasonable when it comes to what tech is going to do. And he says there's no reason for Microsoft not to just give them one model or make the model have it's about $25 for Xbox to put a Blu-ray drive in it. And if this console, this is another thing we're going to unwrap, this console is probably going to be up to $1,500, barring with what's going on right now, because what I heard is Mag is absolutely correct from what Mag heard. I agree with Mag. Microsoft is not going to wait. They're pushing full steam ahead with the guys that maybe price will go down, but if they don't, we're going to adjust a couple $100 or a few $100 because we're going to make money on this console no matter what. And if that means we have to raise the price to $1,500, we're going to do that because we're not waiting. R&D has been happening. They spent that money. They want to make the return on investment. You and I have talked on the show so many times how they'll probably only sell 10 to 12 million, maybe 15 million in the span of 6 years because they have a half-life of their customers that haven't moved to PC or whatever. And they're totally okay with that because they have diversified. They're selling games. Their games are doing really well. They're doing really well on PlayStation, regardless of the low revenue, which we covered earlier. That's really about COD. And the Magnus... Magnus will not wait for. I'm gonna go right into this next.
They don't
thing
have a choice.
They don't
have a choice. They were presented with an ultimatum by Microsoft saying you have to release it in 27. This is your only shot. Like I said, in the same meeting they turned down the handheld, and then they talked about the Magnus and saying you have one shot to do this at 27. We'll give you the opportunity to do so. The ROG Xbox Ally X, which is not their product, but was brought up in the same meeting, showing that it wasn't performing well either. But that's why they got one chance to do that. Now the prices that we're hearing is $11.99. Pricing guidelines for the Magnus have been revised to $11.99 and to $14.99. That's the window that they have it in right now. So it could be $11.99 or $14.99.
I haven't heard
somewhere in between that.
Yeah, I haven't heard personally from people I've talked to. I haven't heard an actual price range. I just reasonably think that's where it's at. In $1,200 to $1,500. The geeky nerd goes, they're doing really well according to what? You wouldn't believe this, but Xbox's games have not cost as much as you think they are, and they sell them. They make $5 billion in revenue on Game Pass, and they sell the games on PC and Steam. And also, they're actually turning a pretty nice, easy, kick your legs up and put one hand behind your back profit on PS5 right now. And they're going to push forward and put more games on PlayStation, and that's working really well for them. So when you think Xbox isn't doing well, you haven't seen the whole picture. There are other
True Hero,
things. Sorry.
The
console.
True Hero, this is not speculation. These are people that are actually in the meetings. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to come to fruition exactly as those meetings go, because as we know, plans change over time. Yeah. These are what they had spoken about when they sat down at the round table, and they said, okay, what are we doing here? So that's what you're getting right now. What ends up happening in 27 may change over the next year and a half as things change. The prices of RAM may change. They may go up. They may go down. Things might even out. It might be less, might be more. Who knows? As it stands, that actually happened. Those meetings happened. Now,
and like I said, take what Meg and I are saying at your own value.
Take it or leave it.
Like
whatever.
When I say Crimson Desert looks awesome, I can't wait to play it. I got to play it at PAX. I think it's going to be an awesome game. That is up to you to set your expectation levels for yourself personally, because I can't imagine someone actually saying, you told me in that preview that Redfall was amazing, but I gave it a 665 out of 100 when I reviewed the game. So this is really up to you how you feel about what Moore's Law is saying, Kepler, Nate the Hate, Xbox 2, or us.
Here's the thing. Colt, they sold a handheld for $1,000, and people think that an actual desktop console PC is going to be less than that.
Well, you and I covered that, remember?
From now, as the prices continue to go up.
The screen, the form factor, and the battery, it can be the Magnus and the handheld could be around the same price point. Maybe the Magnus is more, especially the Steam Deck. There's a ton of stuff I have to cover, and I'm trying to think of Somebody said something, and I got to cover this. Someone said about that handheld, about the ROG Ally. Like, do we even know how well the ROG Ally sold? I heard the ROG Ally has done way over their expectations. Now, it's not selling as much as the Steam Deck, but I think that Microsoft and Xbox and ROG, Asus, they expected a certain amount, and those handhelds have oversold their expectations. So they're happy with that. So, the other thing I want to cover is what can Microsoft and PlayStation do? Just so you understand my objectivity when it comes to next generation. The Xbox Magnus is way more powerful and capable than the PS6. Those numbers don't lie, and those numbers are already confirmed by somebody like Kepler, who has a really great track record. So keep that in mind. Here's what I think. This is such a positive for PlayStation. I think PlayStation, who has done all of their research and their development for the PS6, they wanted to put that out in 2027, but then they're thinking, why don't we just wait? This is just me speculating. Why don't we just wait till 2028 or 2029? Let's not modify the PS6 to be a 2028 or 29 console. Let's give them a 2027 console in a couple of years. And we don't have to compete against Xbox at all. The PlayStation 6 will sell like hotcakes. And even if it's less capable than you'd hope in 2028 or 2029, PlayStation can't lose because developers will target that PS6. Games will look amazing on them because games look amazing on a ROG Ally X right now. Like we complain a lot, but games look amazing on the lowest tier hardware sometimes.
The current consoles that I have and the hardware I have, everything looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to you really if you have a nice TV, you have a nice monitor, but at the end of the day, you put things in whatever performance mode or fidelity, whatever it is, like sure. you could set up the presentation. Everything looks magnificent. So it's like it's not that. I think that the thing is right now is that when you look at all these things, and the PS6 will be cheaper, the Magnus will be what we had said it will be. Well, that's the revised price range right now, $11.99 to $14.99. So that being the case, somewhere in the midst of that, and that's right now. That may go down over time as parts and whatever go cheaper. But the thing is, at the end of the day, this actually kind of lines up with the other thing that we were talking about a few months ago. We were talking about their internal projections of what they were going to sell. Right? And their internal projections, this came from Microsoft, not me, not Colt, not some random guy. This came from Microsoft. They said their internal projections for Magnus are 10 to 12 million units sold. Now,
I didn't know that was actually a thing they said.
Range. Yes, it was. That came from internal. So they're saying 10 to 12 million is their projection for the next gen console. So
makes sense.
That being the case, that kind of does make sense because a lot of people in the chat were going, well, for that price, I'll just, that's the same.
Like,
price
who's buying that? Yeah.
Well, a lot of people in that price range already have a PC, so they're not going to buy it. Then you're going to have a majority of console owners are going to be like, sorry, that's a little bit too rich for my blood, and I'm going to go to something else or whatever. Or if you want to stay in Xbox, access the cloud for infinitely cheaper.
Well,
dude, in a couple of years, the cloud will get better too.
I would tell you, my personal take is there are probably, and I think this is a solid guess, there's probably 30 million loyal, ready to move forward Xbox fans that would buy a Magnus.
They're not going to pay $1,500 for a console. So those 30 million plus loyal were paying $500 for a Series X.
So Mag, if you didn't know that number, if you didn't know that number of how many next gens would sell, out of 30 million diehard loyalists, how many are going to make the leap for up to $1,500? Probably around 10 to 12 million.
About 10 to 12 million. So that actually makes absolute sense. No. But I'm saying that's perfect because that's what they said. It didn't come from my lips. You know what I mean? That came from their lips of saying, our internal estimates that we think that it may say sell 10 to 12 million. And then, of course, I got the revised price window, not fact, price window of where they're aiming towards, somewhere in that price range. So about 1/3 of those people will continue there. The other 2/3 will either stay on the consoles that they already have, and the Series X and the S more the X than the S, will continue to be supported for several years, right? After that next generation comes out. So in 2030, you'll still be able to access through your Series X and be able to play that. We've already seen that now. Black Ops 7, you can still play on an Xbox One, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? And a PS4. So that, as well as many other games up until 2024 and a half, I'll say. But that being the case, then the other thing is you can also use those consoles. Eventually, you'll be able to use those consoles for full cloud access and be able to continue to play your games in high fidelity and whatever else through the cloud, right on those boxes right there. Because once again, accessibility. So if you can't afford, and they said it themselves, by the way, their lips, not mine, Magnus will be a boutique item. That's exactly the words that were used. Word for effing word, boutique. Boutique does not mean no frills shopping. Boutique does not mean buy one, get one free. Boutique means, holy crap, look at the price of this Versace dress in Beverly Hills. That's what boutique means. Boutique means curated and expensive. So expect that. And it's fine. If you want to do it, do it. If you have the money for it, go ahead and God bless. Do what you got to do. Or if you got a PC or you say, you know what? I'll invest $200 extra and just buy a PC. I'm happy with that. Do that too. Or you want to stay
How about this, Mag?
There.
I think in March or April, I can't remember, we're supposed to get the Steam machine. In US dollars, how much?
Isn't that
do you
funny?
think
We haven't heard of.
I know. So in your opinion,
what? Yeah.
In your opinion, what is the price of that Steam machine?
Jeez, man, that's a good question. And the thing is, we have to start asking questions about the Steam machine because they went dead silent when Rampocalypse hits. Yep. And before Rampocalypse, remember, we talked about this on this very show. Remember when they had the meeting with the guy, with the engineers who built the console, and they're like, they had the little, not a meeting, excuse me, they had the little interview, and they're like, yeah, so it's going to be around $500, right?
Oh,
and then
right,
the engineers were like this.
Yeah, that was that Linus Tech Tips, I think it was that.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see the engineer look at the other one like this. He just went,
it's gonna be $500.
He just gave him the oh crap. Because it's like, it's gonna be more than that.
He tipped back.
And the funny thing is that was before Rampocalypse. So I don't know if what's his name there? I don't know if Santa Claus got the deals in before. Gabe. I just call him Santa Claus, okay? So, Santa Claus works for Valve. Gandalf works for Xbox. Church Lady for PlayStation. Yeah, we all got a character working on different hardware. I don't even know that Godzilla's making Nintendos.
I don't even know who's making Nintendo. Who's the head guy?
Godzilla. Oh, sorry, Godzilla.
Anyhow. Oh, that was great.
What? That's how they say it. Anyhow.
My kid gets mad if I do.
Otani and his stupid little dog.
Who runs Nintendo? I don't even know. Nintendo!
The thing is, with the Steam machine, we gotta wonder, man.
Shuntaro Furukawa.
Kintaro from Mortal Kombat?
Shutaro Furukawa.
Hey, watch your language. This is a children's show.
Shipping it. Naruto shipping it. No. Shuntaro.
Right, let's take a look at this guy.
Furukawa.
Designer.
And he has the same haircut that my friend Kingston had back in 96. He goes, you betcha. He had this thing. And we can make fun of hair because we haven't had hair in 30 years. He has the butt cut. Yeah.
Love it. My God, really? Okay. So we got to come up with a funny name for him. We'll figure a funny name for the whoever designed the Switch 2.
Furukawa. Yeah. I'm sure he's a great guy.
He's a furry as well. Holy cow, we're finding out a lot about this
he doesn't
guy.
look like he doesn't look like anybody famous to me. Hold on.
Well, we'll have to take a look at it.
You look at him.
I still think it was Godzilla, but that's
look him up. I need you to tell me who he looks like.
What's his name again? Someone said he just left. Oh no, that was Bowser. Sorry, what's this guy's name again?
Just write who runs Nintendo. It's Shuntaro Furukawa.
Oh no, I don't want to know who runs Nintendo because Church Lady doesn't run Switch.
Well, I don't know who the leading face is, but whatever. Yeah, you're right. No.
Kind of looks like one of the. Oh, I see him. He kind of looks like a turtle from Mario Brothers.
With the little.
Yeah, he looks like a turtle from Mario Brothers. Yeah. So one of the turtles from Mario Brothers.
Koopa Trooper.
So there you go.
Koopa Trooper.
We're going to call
him Shintaro Koopa
Trooper. One of the Koopas or whatever. So here's the thing with the Steam situation. The fact that they've gone radio silent, haven't said a damn word. They were supposed to reveal Half-Life 3 I don't know what, 18 times since December or November. We haven't heard a damn thing. The Steam machine is supposed to launch in a month. It was supposed to be March 13th or March 11th. I can't remember which day. One of those two dates there. It was supposed to launch somewhere in that week, either the 11th or the 13th. We haven't heard a damn thing. You're not releasing hardware if you're not talking about it. You don't release hardware and go, oh yeah, by the way, PlayStation 6 comes out tomorrow. Like, that doesn't happen. It's months and months and months of anticipation. People start saving up their money. They start looking into it. They start, moving and shaking.
It's 6 to 12 months.
It's not coming out in March, dude. I don't think it's coming out in March anymore. There's no way. Otherwise, they'd start advertising. It's already February 2nd, dude. What are we talking about here?
I mean, you could just drop an announcement and say pre-orders are ready. It's this much money, and people don't have to go like pull out their calendar and start marking off stuff. But Shadow Drop Rambo says, you didn't answer me though.
Oh, sorry.
How much
price?
How much? Yeah. What's your feelers on the price in US? And don't give me though for the low model. Like, what's the price? One model with a gig of.
I say it's no less than $750.
I feel
maybe
like
$800.
I think it was, and I think maybe they're probably shifting to 1,000 with the current market problems. Don't you? Don't you feel like they wanted 700 US?
I would say close at $800.
Yeah,
I'd say 800.
What do you guys think in the chat? You think Mag is any specs? I mean, the specs are kind of, it's like a PS5 Pro, because you can't compare them exactly. And Digital Foundry said it's like just under a PS5, but I don't trust that because with the PC you can
PS5?
eke out a little bit extra. So chat's starting to write it. Nuke Nukem says, and if he's talking in US, like we're trying to keep that because the Canadian dollar gets so inflated when you look at the number. But a lot of people are saying around 800, 900.
Yeah, I would say about $800 makes sense to me. That makes sense to me.
I don't know.
We're going to have to wait and see, man.
The reason why I said that is people are like, oh my gosh, 1,100 or 1,200 or 1,500 for the next Xbox. Well, I mean, the next Xbox is going to be way over 2 times more powerful than the Steam machine. And everyone's like, well, why would you get the Xbox when you get the Steam machine? Well, if you love the Steam OS,
the thing is, though,
go for it.
No, I get it. But the thing is, though, power, as we already know, means nothing. I literally have right here this beautiful hoodie that I got from Xbox.
Yeah.
Right? It's right here. Look at this thing. Okay. It says world's most powerful console right there. Okay. World's most powerful console.
Oh, it does say that. Wait, no, it says power your dreams. Yeah. Read that. Pull that up again. Does it really say world's most powerful, or does it say power your dreams?
No, it says power your dreams, and it says power your dreams and that. But if you look at the back, it's written, it's kind of like inside the wording. You see it? Can you see it or no? I can't see you.
I don't know why I can't.
It's all there. It says power your dreams at the top and then whatever else, right?
Oh, yeah, it does on the side. So, by the way, your camera looks really good, bro.
Thank you.
And show the good people.
Right here, it says most powerful, fastest console right here. It says most powerful down here, and it says fastest across here. It's written vertically,
okay,
right?
I see it.
So anyway, the point is that
show the good people.
What did it?
Hold on. Show the good people your second best Christmas movie shirt you're wearing.
Oh, Gremlins.
Yeah, baby.
Gremlins, fantastic.
The new batch.
Yeah. So
good video game, by the way.
Here's the thing. It says most powerful console. And the thing is, this Magnus is going to be a monster. Sure. The thing is, if you've got a price point where a lot of people are going to go, whoa, that's too much for me. It doesn't matter how powerful it is and what it offers. If it's too much, people aren't going to buy it. You can buy a Honda Civic for somewhat reasonable price. I'm saying somewhat because nothing is really reasonable these days. But you can buy a Bugatti that has a 1,500 horsepower engine, but you can't afford it. So people go like, well, that's very nice because it's a beautiful car. The Bugatti is a beautiful car, and that's nice. How much is that? $4 million? Oh, okay, cool, bro. Great story. It's the most powerful car in the world. But if it's that, if it's expensive, people are not going to buy it. Now, I'm obviously exaggerating. It's not going to be that expensive. But the thing is, console gamers want to sit in that comfort range of between $500 and $700. Anything above that, you're going to have a lot of people hanging onto that old hardware and go, yeah, I can't do this. Because even when it hit $500 and $600 in the current generation, a lot of people, like 30-something%, are still holding on to their old hardware because they simply can't afford the new hardware. Because if they could, they would have upgraded already from the Xbox One and the PS4 generation. There are a ton of people out there that's still playing the Switch Ones. In fact, Switch Ones was outselling Xboxes at one point because people couldn't afford the Switch 2. And so, like, that was outselling the Switch 2, for God's sake. So when you start thinking about that, Magnus can be this, it could be that. It could be the second coming of the Lord. He shows up on a chariot coming down with trumpets playing and all that kind of stuff. But if you can't afford it, that's a problem.
Well, there's going to be a strange curveball that's coming up, and a lot of Xbox reporters are feeling like at the Xbox 25th anniversary showcase or 25th anniversary stream, or maybe it's a public event. I'm kind of leaning toward them actually doing a in-person public 25th anniversary event, maybe around October, that they will reveal their next generation plans and maybe call it, say we're working on Project Magnus, show a chip and cool animations, not show the form factor, not show the name of the console, right? Sorry, what were you saying?
It's going to be an option. It's not the end all. And that's something I'd like to say though as well. It's going to be an option, like for example, the ROG Xbox Ally X. You don't have to buy it. Like, it's there. It's $1,000. Okay, whatever. It's there. You don't have to get it. It's not like someone's forcing your hand to do so. Like I said, in a year and a half, well, almost 2 years from now, when this thing launches in the fall of 2027, there will be other options that have improved so much so that you will be able to say, you know what, I don't even need this thing. I'll just play on my TV. And Game Pass won't be $30. It'll be more than that. It's going up in price. So that being the case, whatever you're paying for
ads.
Yeah, well, no, that's going to be a level. It's not going to be every level. It's going to be a level is going to have advertisements. That's 100% happy. But Ultimate is going up again in price. So the thing is, you have a TV, a smart TV. Most people have one of these days, especially if you're a gamer. You got a smart TV, a monitor, whatever you've got. And you have controllers, which a lot of us do have extra controllers lying around. Well, then if you can't afford the Magnus, you will still be able to play just like GeForce Now or whatever else. You'll have access to it. Now, GeForce Now requires a PC, does it not?
No, it does not.
Just do it directly off.
Load it directly on your LG TV. Yeah, or
okay,
other
so
brands.
There you go. So that's the move. That's the move. They're saying, well, if you can't afford the premium, if you can't afford the Bugatti, we have another option of accessibility right here, or the current car hardware that you've got. Hang on to that Series X for a couple of more years. Or you've got the cloud, and cloud will get, just like we talked about AI, cloud will continue to get better over time. It'll also come down in price. It'll become more efficient and whatever. And that's all I told you at the beginning of the show 2 hours ago. Microsoft's focus is no longer Game Pass. It is publishing and accessibility. Those are the two things that they have openly talked about and, of course, behind the scenes talked about. Publishing and accessibility to their product. I'm not saying Game Pass is like, oh, hell with it. They're not giving up on it. I'm just saying that's going to be an option. You don't need to get Game Pass to play in the ecosystem. That's all I'm trying to say.
They're making almost $1 billion in profit from Game Pass. So Game Pass is one of the pillars of. They're making $5 billion a year in revenue, and they're operating at like 20% profit margin. So I don't know what 20% of five is. Who's really good at? Where's Hargeet? Who's really good at math? What's 20% of 5? I think it'd probably be like 0.8 or something. Are you calculating it?
Listen, all they're doing is No, sorry, he was saying we were talking about something else. He mentioned something about Navi.
1. Oh yes, duh. 20. It's 1. Duh. 25 times. 5 times.
Oh, sorry, you were doing math stuff. Sorry, my bad. I wasn't.
Yeah, 1 billion. So yeah, they're making 1 billion in. I'm sorry. When I'm running a show, like the math is not like my contextual math is not my strong suit.
Sorry, I didn't pick up on that you were asking a question.
Thank you, Udani.
Yeah.
1/5 is 1.
Dude, accessibility.
Yeah.
And accessibility 20. And options.
So
the other
like,
thing, for example, sorry, I was going to say like PlayStation 6 is PlayStation 6. That's their only accessibility point. Other than older games going to PC or whatever, and then they'll talk about this dedicated handheld.
PlayStation has to sell their console. Number one.
And that's why they'll sell it for much cheaper, and they'll sell it for significantly cheaper. And even if it's not as powerful, no one cares. because it's going to sell like crazy and do things because they got the IP, they make the games look beautiful, whatever. We don't have to get into all that. But the thing is that at least they're giving you an option.
Yeah, and Sony and PlayStation and their fans will be perfectly happy if they delay a year. I mean, they want them to delay, and if they can skip the entire crash of the hardware price increase, if they can work around it and wait and provide you a less capable, more affordable PS6, it will absolutely win for everybody. But Xbox doesn't have to do
look
that.
At the Switch One. The Switch One was an underpowered device. The Wii was an underpowered device. The Wii U was an underpowered device. What dominated every single those last 3 generations?
The Switch,
Nintendo,
and the
Switch.
Nintendo Wii.
Right? People don't care. I mean, you know, and if they're good enough, they look great. Like I'm playing games on my PS5 Pro. You know how many people when I do my live streams, because I do it on the Pro, right? And except for Forza, I'll be playing on my Series X. But the other games I play in the Pro, and people ask me in the chat, they're like, "Oh man, you have an awesome PC. You have an amazing PC. Look at that. Look at that." And I'm like, actually, it's a PS5 Pro. So the thing is, you make it better than that. I don't need anything more than that. What are you looking for? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell are you looking for? But whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, at the end of the day, it'll all be fine. I know. It'll all be fine. It'll all be fine. It'll all work out in the end. But the thing is, you know what it all comes down to? It doesn't come down to the hardware. They're going to offer that hardware whether people buy it or not. That's, like I said, Microsoft have their projections, and that'll be fine for them. They just want accessibility. And the thing is, with accessibility, we're also taking a there's a huge thought here that we're just assuming people are going to stay there regardless of content. The problem is they have to hit with compelling software, and that's going to be the number one driver. It's got nothing to do with the boxes. We've been talking about boxes for the last hour, but the thing is, if Gears doesn't hit, which I can't see that not happening. I mean, come on, we got Marcus and Dom back. I mean, it's going to be hot. But let's just say they don't hit. Let's just say whatever other games that they got, and all the other games that come out. Let's say Fable doesn't hit or whatever. That's the problem. Or COD doesn't hit again. Let's just say those are the problems.
That's a big
not
problem.
The hardware. The hardware is just an option. It's a box sitting there where you could go, well, you could buy it or don't. Who cares? Done. Okay, whatever. But I still got my other stuff. That's fine. It's the software. If that doesn't hit, that's where it's going to be a problem.
People don't realize that PlayStation makes 80% of their money selling other people's games. When you have a Game of the Year winner in Astrobot, a game you all have to play, it's awesome, and it only sells like less than 2 million copies or something, I'm sure they turned a profit on that because people don't realize that Xbox has been turning a profit. Even Ninja Theory turned a profit for them. The diversifying of the business is why Xbox isn't dead, and they're getting bigger than ever. And when I could sit here with an Xbox podcast, hanging out with Mag, talking about Xbox and PlayStation, and I can cover Xbox studios and games and still grow my channel in a supposed dead Xbox console. I replied to Paul Tassi. He didn't reply to me, but he was like, how is Xbox building a new console when their current console hardware market is completely dead? What people have to understand is that, what people have to understand is that, don't forget what you said, because I just got to finish the statement. Xbox has sunsetted the Xbox Series consoles. They are jumping out of that sinking ship. The Xbox Series S and X have lost them so much money, and they failed to sell into a profit margin with them. And they've priced them up so when they do sell, they don't lose money. They want out of Xbox Series, and that's why Mag and I have heard they are pushing ahead without a delay into Xbox Magnus. Mag?
Right. So they're getting it out there. No, all I was going to say is that there is a compelling argument, and I understand the logic behind it, where people say, well, if everything is doing like relatively okay and they're doing fine, like I said, some of those other percentage numbers were not actually that bad. The one that sticks out like the massive sore thumb is the hardware sales. So when you look at that from a logistical point of view, I can understand people's compelling argument saying, if it's that bad on the hardware front, how do they even bother green lighting another one? And that makes sense. You have to say that, okay, well, you know what? That argument makes absolute sense. However, they're actually doing it. So they are releasing another piece of hardware, and it's going to be an option, and they're not going to lose money on it. So at the end of the day, it's actually not going to hurt them in any which way or form, especially when they start charging appropriate prices. For example, another thing I was going to mention, when they made the deal, not the deal, when they made the order for 5 million more chips or whatever, so everybody was thinking that they're going to be making new consoles for GTA 6. They're actually not. And what they're doing with that is that they're utilizing a lot of it for cloud. And as they're bolstering the cloud, and what they're doing is that the countries, and I've talked about this before, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I'll say it again, is that what they're doing is that the unsold consoles that were already out there and the countries that stopped selling the Xbox hardware, they are being refurbished and repurposed for North America for the launch of GTA 6. So what they're doing is they're taking basically all the unsold products around the world, refurbishing them to North American electrical standards, right? Because the standards are different, and reselling them in North America for GTA 6 for the people who are still in Xbox One who have not upgraded to the series consoles. Yeah. So they're no longer in the business of losing money. And so like the chips that they ordered were not for new build consoles. They are for the cloud. And like I said, that's a big focus for them. But the people who want to buy those consoles, you're going to get refurbished ones from whatever kind of, I don't know, Saudi Arabia and Turkey or whatever, Germany, whatever countries decide to stop selling Xbox. They're going to take all those, take them back, refurbish them, resell them to North America. So when it comes to that, when it comes to the new hardware, they're not going to lose any money on it. They're not going to produce as many. You're not going to make 25 million having it sitting in a warehouse. They're going to make 5 million. And then start from there. You know what I mean? And let the hardcore buy them right off the bat. Maybe you might get delayed a couple of months. We're out of stock right now. And that's great for news. You know how that goes, right? You put that beautiful spin on it like they did for the Ally X. Sold out across the world. And then you read the small print and it says on the Microsoft store. And I'm like, oh, okay, because they're not sold out here or any of the stores I went to. They're still sitting there. So like that was the point. It's great for news. It's great for optics. Start with 5 million, build up from there, and then you still sell it. But you know what? You're not losing any money. All you're doing is gaining more people for accessibility. And that's what it boils down to. So, yeah. But again, we have to ignore all this. 2 hours and 10 minutes, dude. We have to ignore all this and sit there and say, it's not about the hardware. It's not about the services. It's not about the cloud. If you don't have games that people want to play, you are effed. That is the most important thing. So it's the studios actually have the most pressure on them, not Gandalf. It's the studios that are going, holy crap. They must be sweating bullets right now going, this is on us. Because when Amy Hood comes out and says, by the way, Call of Duty, you're the problem.
Yeah, and
she's simplifying it, but you know what I mean?
I got some really positive, reinforcing news that maybe I can share next week on the show. Remind me, when it comes to Xbox first party, like people always assume that, they're under the gun. They are under scrutiny, but I heard some super positive stuff that hopefully I can share next week.
I do have one thing.
Yeah.
Coalition, I heard from someone in the Coalition saying that Gears is doing very well and coming along very nicely, and it's ready to rock.
Yeah.
So that's great news.
They're doing, it's like we said last week, I think, that Gears E-Day will be the direct following the showcase in June, because that's probably like an October release or something like that. So
yeah.
We'll finally see it in June. It'll have a full 25-minute breakdown or whatever. And that's normal. That's what Gears 5 did.
Yeah.
We didn't see actual gameplay beyond 32 seconds that I used over and over in videos back in 2019. In June, we saw several minutes of gameplay of Gears 5, and then it came out that September or whatever it was. I don't remember. But the other thing I wanted to break into, when I said that Xbox is possibly going to reveal Project Magnus to the world at the 25th anniversary in October ish. That I don't know when the time frame is. I'm just guessing as in my best intelligence. They're going to say this is Project Magnus. We're moving forward with a boutique set of hardware. It's very possible that what will strike first is an actual Xbox partnered Steam machine that will come out around Christmas time or before Christmas this coming year. So just in about 8 months, they will be something like an Asus box or cube or tower that is going to be Xbox partnered with an Asus controller. It will have the Xbox software full screen experience on it, but it will not play your console games. But also the rumors are that Jason Ronald and Phil Spencer have been working really hard to push past legal ownership to say, look, this is an Xbox. This is branded as an Xbox. It may not have an actual Xbox first party build, but it is considered an Xbox. So let the people play the games they own, signed into Xbox Live. And that is something they're pushing hard. And if you don't believe that's happening, they have pushed so hard with Play Anywhere, where developers and publishers are like, yeah, have the Xbox version and PC version all in the same purchase. I think the industry is shifting toward, you bought the game, you own it, let them play it where they want. And I think Xbox is going to push the industry, which if you're only on PlayStation, be praying and crossing your fingers that Xbox pushes this trail forward, because it could mean all of us could buy our game once. Like all of you that own Assassin's Creed or Resident Evil or Monster Hunter, that someday soon you'll be able to play that on whatever the you want, because Xbox helped blaze the trails for you to have full entitlement. You bought the game for $70. You're going to be able to play it on whatever device you are logged in to your Colt Eastwood account or your Sean Boy 97. Shout out Sean Labrie, who says October is too far. He's probably talking about Gears, but if he's talking about an in-person event as well, I know we'll be there hanging out together, tipping back some ice cold Coca-Colas or whatever. But there's a lot to cover. Meg and I've gone over time. We're going to end the show here, but Xbox is not dead. And holy crap, there's some great games. And I think we might be excited to see what Steam Machine does. And if these other companies make their own Xbox style, like Steam Box, that's backed by Xbox. And then the next year, that's going to be the problem, Mag, is this OEM console, they're calling it, that is not made by Xbox. Like, how am I going to keep myself from buying this knowing the real deal that is guaranteed to play all my games is the next year? So let me take a breath. Let me grab the supers and we're out of here. You guys are amazing. Phase 23. Sorry I didn't get to this one sooner. Thank you for the 2. He goes, Sony's not going to delay the PS6. Sony relies on PlayStation. Yeah, we also said that, but I feel like Sony has a year or 2 of leeway where they're trying to get, they just said something today. They're trying to get people off the PS4, Mag, and the PS5's doing amazing. It's outpacing the PS3. So,
well, they said already, like, I already told everybody, I'm like, listen, if you were in the market, get it now before it goes up in price, because it's the last discount you're ever going to see for the rest of your gaming life. Because you're not going to get a discount on anything ever again unless you go to Facebook Marketplace and some soccer mom one town over is selling their kids, console because they went to college and they didn't bother playing it ever again. That's the only time you're ever going to get a piece of hardware is from third-party shopping like Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji or anything like that.
Or eBay.
But anything else?
Yeah.
Or eBay? Forget it. You ain't getting a discount for the rest of your life. So if you want to upgrade from your PS4 to PS5, or you just want a PS5, do it now while they still have the deals on. Otherwise, you are done for, kids.
I would absolutely recommend, I'll back you up. If you're on Xbox One or PS4 still, definitely buy a second-hand current-gen console. Because, it may only have it for a year or maybe 3 years. And I think you can absolutely live off of someone else's roach-infested console, clean it, blow some air out of it, wipe it down with Clorox wipes, and absolutely love it.
I'm going to Series. I'm going to Series. Let's see. Series X, Xbox. Let's just see. Out of curiosity. Okay. 500 Canadian dollars. You could buy one right now, and it's less than 1 kilometer. So for you Americans, it's a third of a mile from my house. So it's literally like 2 streets over. Dude's selling it for there. Another guy right here.
Let me see what it is in US.
$300 Canadian. That's like $200 American for a Series S. You could buy $460 with disc. Oh yeah, they all come.
Someone's selling a Series X for $200 US, but the going rate is around $400 or $500.
Okay,
probably.
So that's what I'm saying. The Facebook Marketplace, and these are all like these ones, barely touched, brand new. Another one from my hometown here, $450 with 2 controllers.
Yeah, do it.
You know what I'm saying? You can buy all this stuff. They're all out there, and for people who played them, they're just not into it. You know how people are. And if it's going to last you a couple years, PS5s are going for $450 on average, $450 to $500. They're still selling pretty high.
Yeah.
Even a Slim is selling for $450. I'm looking right here, like 4 kilometers from my house. So those are selling a little bit more. Xbox is a little bit less, but here we go. $325 Canadian, $325 Canadian for a PS5 digital edition. 825 gigs, barely used, console only.
And there's your gateway to Grand Theft Auto 6. Debate Nate TV in the chat says, "Hello, Colt Mag. I uploaded my first YouTube video on Crimson Desert. Do you guys have any tips and advice for upcoming creators like you guys? Thank you, love you, all the hard work you guys do." I'll start first because
go ahead.
I was there in 2015, 2014. And Mag started making content in 2025, right?
Yeah.
It's tough when you first start. You can get 13 views or 42 views. Find what you do best, or what you do. Find what your niche is, like what you're great at, and capitalize on that. You know, for me, it was making overlay graphics and having them on the screen instead of just saying the thing. And people really like that. And eventually I remember I took there was this 8-minute Ghost Recon Wildlands trailer from Ubisoft in 2016 or 2015. And I cut out just the gameplay. I cut out all the cinematics and threw them away. And I had just the gameplay. And I'm like, I'm going to make a video about Wildlands, because it was like the first full reveal. I dug into all the information that was available, and I made this 3.5-minute video with just the gameplay, and I talked about everything you do in the game. And that video got 60,000 views. And I've told the story here before, but I was used to like 42 views every video. I found something that I did well, like cutting in gameplay and cutting it and making it look cool. And I remember I hit 1,000 subs when my family and I were in Seattle on a little vacation, and I was so like over the moon. My advice before I have Mag speak, because it's fresh for him, is get yourself an affordable $50 to $70 mic, plug it straight into your PC, make sure your audio sounds great, and when you make your content, because I can tell he's not making the industry's cooked videos, you know, he's not making this is slop and don't play this game. When you record on your mic or on camera, smile, like, because you love gaming, and make sure that energy, it can be choked by the internet connection in your stuff, but smile and freaking enjoy it, and people will get that energy. Mag, what do you have to say for Debate Nate TV?
I'll only say one thing, Debate Nate, and this is it. Whether people feel that way or not, that's because it doesn't fit their narratives. They're just not paying attention. But what I like to say is that the number one mantra that you should live by, and everybody should live by, and I live by when I do my content, and anybody who understands that knows it. Authenticity is the currency of the future. Robert Meyer Burnett, a Hollywood pundit, has been saying that for years. And he said the same thing over and over and over. Authenticity is the currency of the future. Be authentic to yourself. You don't have to be authentic to other people, because people will, and what I mean by that is some people will be like, oh, well, I don't believe what he says. Or what. That's fine. You could do all that.
Yeah.
But if you're true to yourself, people will come to you. And if you feel a certain way or whatever, you want to talk a certain way, or you're afraid, do not be afraid to offend people. And I don't mean that like be nasty. I mean, don't be afraid to worry about what people think about you. Go out and do your thing. And
if you love that game that most people don't, say it. Just tell them you love it.
The right people will find you. And that is how it works. And it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. The only reason why that I have a little bit more success in my first year than most people do is because I've already been guests on YouTube channels for 4 years before I even started doing my own content. So people knew me in the
and on this crappy
anyway,
podcast.
Right? And I've been on this podcast with Colteastwood, a wonderful young man. And so, like, Magnus authentic. He drinks beer on the stream. I do that too. I will not do that tomorrow. But the thing is, once again, the right people will come around. right?
Yeah.
Don't look for a gimmick. Don't look for anything else. Do what you want to do. Be happy about it. Be enthusiastic, just like Colt said. Smile, work hard, be consistent. Consistency is key. That is another thing. Do not just do a video one day and then don't do anything for 3 weeks. The algorithm will destroy you. YouTube doesn't care about any of what's going on. You need to be consistent the whole time, right? Even if you're on vacation, film 3 videos before you go on vacation and release them throughout the week, whatever. You could do that straight from your phone. Right. So, you know, do all that kind of stuff. Stay consistent with your material. Stay consistent with yourself. And like I said, again, be authentic. And you know how many people, I know it's going to sound really sort of self-serving, but when I do my shows or whatever, and I do Magcasts and they grow in popularity and getting bigger and bigger and bigger when I do the live stuff. And I'm like, this is great. And I see so many people in the chat saying the same thing. They're like, Mag, I love the fact that you're not afraid to say anything, even if it offends one side or the other, you're just going to say it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to say it. And if it hurts people's feelings, that's fine. That's totally fine. Everybody's allowed to have their opinions, and I respect that. And that's another thing. Always allow people and embrace other people's opinions. If they differ from yours, it's totally cool. I have people in my chat, not here, not this, in my chat come after me, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that's totally cool. They're like, Mag, you're wrong. Like that's a stupid take. I'm like, that's fine. If you feel that way, that's totally cool. You're welcome here to say that, and I will say what I think and whatever. So keep open to other people's opinions. That's the biggest problem human beings have, because human beings are inherently stupid. So the problem is they're not open to other people's thoughts and feelings.
Most people, most people are mouth breathers, and they're not very tactful as well. Yeah.
Well, I mean, all you have to do is just never mind. I won't even get into politics. I won't.
Well, I want to say something.
But the thing is, people are so butting heads as opposed to like, listen, I feel this way. I feel this way. Can't we just live in peace and just whatever and just agree to disagree?
It's harder to make. It's harder to make YouTube gaming content, especially if if you like talking about stuff that people could be excited about, because like we said earlier in the show, everyone's like, it's slop first before it's proven to be good, and everyone wants to be disappointed before they want to be excited, and people don't want to be excited anymore. So one of the things you'll have to do, which kind of goes against the grain of what Mag and I were saying earlier, is make some videos and then look at the ones that do a little bit better and then say, well, people really like that. Maybe I should capitalize on that. You have to be careful, because you could pigeonhole yourself into a Cyberpunk channel or a Grand Theft Auto 6 channel because that video did the most. But if people are liking that, look at what you're making and listen to your comments, reply back to people, engage, because that helps, right? And you'll start to get a feel when you start making a few videos about what people really like and what they resonate with your content, and then capitalize either on that style or maybe that particular approach or content. And you know, it's like it is one thing you have to do. You have to kind of like see what the people are liking and what your starting fan base likes, and kind of start working for them and making content that they're looking for. Another thing that you have to do in YouTube is you have to give people what they're looking for. You know, you can't make a channel say, hey, I mean, it'd be really tough to make a channel say, hi, I've been gaming for 40 years. You know, I've been gaming since the television. Then I'm going to talk about my experience in gaming. I don't know how many people want to watch that. One of the pieces of advice I got from Dealer Gaming, who was a very successful YouTuber that just kind of sprouted out of the ground. He's like, people don't care about you. They want to hear what they want to hear. So make sure you're giving them your personality while you give them the stuff they're looking for. And this is what Mag is doing. Mag is giving you news on the minute with his personality that people, I don't know why people like Mag's personality or his face. It looks like a catcher's mitt, but they do. And Mag's giving the news, and he's got his personality spread in there, and it's doing well. And it's hard to say.
Unless I'm doing like something like big, like some breaking news story or whatever else that gains a lot of attention, all my stuff sits around the same. But they do well. But the thing is, I think that a lot of it that's coming around now, like I'm getting a lot of like the live viewers are growing, and that's when I do my live shows or my even when I do like gaming, like when I'm doing my live streaming, you know, it's doubled like in terms of numbers. When I did a reaction to the developer direct, there was like 4 other YouTubers. I had more live viewers than they did, and they've been on the air longer than me. And I'm not saying that it's some kind of a flex. I'm just saying I think the thing is, one of my niches or my shtick, I guess, is that I'm very unpredictable in terms of what's going to come out of my mouth next. And I think a lot of people tune in to find out what the hell I'm going to say. I had some guy spam my Silent Hill F stream on Friday, and he spammed it with a bunch of stuff, like, and all of a sudden it just, like when you get the spam thing and you get like 8 million messages, the same thing over and over, or whatever. Yeah. And I blocked him. And then my moderators got involved. And then he came back under a different name and then did the same thing, spam my chat, blocked him and blocked him and blocked him. And so he did it like 3 or 4 times. And then the other thing is that what I ended up doing is eventually I went on a tirade. And when I went on the tirade, I would have made the devil blush. Like the devil would have blushed at the things that I said. And some people in the chat were going, did I just witness a live murder on the air? Because I tore this guy completely to pieces and just went, you know what I mean? And whatever. And it was kind of funny, but a lot of people tune in for that kind of stuff because they know that I may just kind of, you know what I mean? Just kind of go on an unhinged sort of like rampage about something. And so it's kind of fun and exciting. And like, yeah, fine. Tuesday nights, I usually bust out a couple drinks with the people. We talk about whatever we want. And, and I'm growing something a little different though. And it's a little bit more, in terms of like being organic. I'm growing like a family kind of idea where like the channel is mine, but it's not mine. It's everybody's channel. And I'm like, listen, man, everybody's welcome here. I don't care what you are. And I'm like, what do you guys want to talk about after the 2 hours? I'll be like, you guys want to talk about Marvel? We'll sit and talk comic books for half an hour. And then people ask questions in the chat, or we'll talk about movies, or we'll talk about this and that, or whatever. And we'll talk about life. I have people reach out to me and say, Mag, how do you deal with your anxiety issues? And we talk about these things. We have open dialogue. I've had people come into the chats and saying, hey, man, I'm really having a lot of trouble in my life right now. A lot of bad stuff has happened. I won't say the details and whatever. Yeah. And the chat goes wild. And then you find out that even outside of the chat, people are reaching out to that person and be like, hey, man, if you need anything, you just reach out to me and stuff like that or whatever. And we're trying to build a strong community. And that's something that's completely different. But I mean, like, you have to find your own niche, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing at the end of the day.
There's so many content creators. Yeah. And
Dealer just dipped out. He didn't just dip out, King. You see this? You see this?
Oh, gosh. Hold
Execute order. Dealer 66. I've told you I'm taking out the RDX crew one at a time.
Hey,
I've been working on Colt for 2 years.
Yeah, I don't have much left in me. I'm waiting for him to get close.
Dealers, I'm waiting for him to get closer to me, and I'm going to take him out. Dealers, right with my scythe right at the Games Fest.
That's Dealer's logo was the red
I know. It's kind of funny. Grim Reaper. It was the Grim Reaper with the cards. Yeah. That was a very cool logo. I love that logo.
But he's not doing content anymore, and I can tell you all the times that a couple of my friends that stopped making content. One that came back is Zocker, and Zocker's making.
What a mistake! Yeah, what a mistake.
He was in the chat.
Zocker's videos.
He was in the chat like an hour and a half ago. But yeah, he's making content about the problems in the games industry, and I'm making content about stuff I'm excited about. Mag's making content about what's happening in the industry as it's breaking and where it's heading. Right. So I've talked to my friends for a long time about content. Being a YouTuber is super fun. You work for yourself. You can meet lots of really cool people. I don't want to go on a tangent, but I've made so many real life friends because I have a show that goes out further than Washington State where I live. So it's amazing. And I have friends in the UK and I have friends in Australia, and it's amazing. But one of the things is it can be very stressful. It can be all consuming. My numbers are down. I need to make content. Oh, this video didn't do well. Oh, my channel's cooked. And when I was talking to Dealer a long time ago.
And authenticity. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nobody's more authentic than Dealer. He told you how it was. He made great content. But I know that there was a time there when he was just like, I'm sick of everybody. We get in party chats and we're like, my numbers are this, the algorithm, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, shut up. And so the last time I talked to him, he's just freaking enjoying games, man. And sometimes there are times when I don't sit down to enjoy a game because I'm going to spend the next part of the day making a video and at night until it's time to go to bed, and there's difference there. But shout out to everybody who's trying their best. And I still love what I'm doing. And I know Mag's he's in the honeymoon phase. It's awesome.
Oh no, there's no honeymoon phase here, dude. I'm going for this head first, headlong, all cylinders blasting at full crank, man. I'm not stopping and I'm not slowing down.
That's awesome,
I'm just going to keep going and punch my way through it.
And go sub to Mag's channel. I don't know if I put it in the
No, so, one of the mods did. Happy Bob took care of it.
And of course, all you have to do is when Mag writes something, you can say F you, right click, and then
it's totally cool. You can hate me too. Hit the thumbs down button. I actually prefer it.
I have the thumbs. I have it actually displayed. Oh wait, let me see. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. Hit the dislike button if you didn't like
knock it off.
Us talking about. Yeah, it's not showing me. If maybe nobody disliked.
Listen, man, when I do a live stream, I always say the same thing. I'm like, guys, hit the thumbs down button. I appreciate you all being here.
Yep.
And put nasty comments in the chat. Call me name. Call me a fraud. I enjoy that. That's my favorite.
I got 2 funny comments today on my videos. One said Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be woke slop, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, people are so dumb. And then another one was like, do not fall for Satan. You need to watch out because Jesus is coming on a motorbike and he's going to take you all out with a double barrel shotgun. And it wasn't even like a funny one. Like this guy was like super religious. I'm like, holy smokes. Hey, but all right. Or the Jesus thumbs up, right? Hey, 78 Incorporated US Gaming. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Says Microsoft can make the Magnus the most powerful console again, but they have to support the dang thing. Also, for 1,000, my games better not be a standard of 45 FPS or less, and bring the dang games. Well, I mean, they're bringing tons of games. Hopefully, people love them. Bit Fernaldi says, I'll be upgrading my Game Pass to get Call of Duty day one. Then back down to tier for Forza when that comes out. I can't afford 30 a month. Yeah. I would just, if 30 a month is too much for you, if it feels like they're charging too much, do not pay for Game Pass. Cancel Game Pass. Do not do that because you may find out. I mean, I'm not playing as many games as I used to on Game Pass. Just wait and buy the games that you absolutely want. That's what you should do. But if you see those every week or every 2 weeks, they have an announcement of new games. If you look at those and go, man, I want those, then pay for Game Pass. Toby Leahy, thank you for the £5 super, says, love you guys. You two are warriors out here. Love the show. Made me laugh. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah, man.
Go sub to Mag. Sub to this show if you haven't. We appreciate your support. We're going to get out of here and keep an eye out. I might have a big Fallout video. We'll see, because tomorrow night is the season finale of Fallout Season 2. I won't say anything about the show, but I've absolutely been enjoying it. And as a fan of the franchise, I love what they're doing. So check out Season 1. It's free on YouTube if you want to watch all the 12 episodes or whatever. And then tomorrow night I'll be watching season finale. And then Mag, let's not even do an outro. Let's just say goodbye to everybody. We're way over time.
Bye, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Bye. Bye. We love you. Hugs and kisses. Where's the button? We're out.